We are officially live. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope you all enjoyed your Monday. It was solid for me. I went 1-2 against the spread in the NBA, which obviously sucks, but we hit that same game parlay in the Knicks-Sixers game. And then MLB had a winning night for me personally. So overall, made some money last night. I'll take it. And the way the NBA playoffs had been going for me the few days before that, just any day where I put my head on the pillow with more money on my account, I'm considering a thumbs up because the playoffs have been really tough for me. It seems like a lot of people are going through the same thing, though, which makes me feel a little better. We got system plays here. We got 4 NHL games on the board. So that's why we started 15 minutes early so we can get the NHL in. And then we're doing NBA after that and then MLB to finish it out. So that's the plan. Anything else I want to? No, let's go ahead and get started. Capitals, Rangers, you're under hit in this in game 1, correct, System Plays?
Yeah, the first period under and the full game under both hit in that one.
Good shit.
Yeah, so this one I'd only played the first period under in this one. First period of game 1, it ended 0-0. We had the under, of course. And I'm going to go right back to that. I don't think much changes here, at least in the first period. There was 5 penalties in the first period. There's 5 power plays, and there still wasn't a goal. So I think game plan kind of stays the same for the first period. Expected goals in the game, so it was 2.89 for the Rangers and 1.52 for the Capitals. The Rangers won 4-1, so it barely stayed under, but it did stay under the full game total. But I'm going to stay off the full game under because I think if the Capitals want to win, they're going to have to change something up. They're going to have to take a lot more risk and generate more offense. Like, one goal isn't going to cut it. So I think after the first period, they might realize that. And that's when, the Capitals start taking more risks. And we could possibly see the full game go over. But I still lean to the full game under. But, yeah, I'm just going to stick with the first period under in this one.
Any reason, because I'm looking at these pie charts in the bottom left. I'm looking at the poll. Everyone's betting New York. Is there any reason to try to take a flyer on Washington or just no shot?
If I were to take Washington, I would take Washington plus 1.5. But I think the Rangers, honestly, I think the Capitals don't really belong in the playoffs. Like, they're probably the worst team in the playoffs, in my opinion. Right. So, they had a negative 37 goal differential in the regular season. So they're the only team with a negative goal differential that made the playoffs. So I think, there's a reason that everyone's on the Rangers. I don't think that the Capitals can win this game. It's possible, of course, like the playoffs can get crazy, but I don't see it, honestly.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Because when I see that, like, naturally, I want to take the Caps, but from what I'm reading, for what I'm hearing, that doesn't seem like a smart investment. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Tampa Bay, Florida. By the way, that poll, 54% said Rangers. Actually, 22% of the viewers did say Washington. So there are people just taking a shot on that big plus price.
Yeah. Just from a value standpoint, I guess. But like me, I can't see it with the Capitals. But yeah, next game. So I took the first period over. We had that in the first game that hit, and we had the full game over, which didn't. And I also took the Lightning money line at plus 150. So yeah, game 1 it barely stayed under. It ended 3-2. Expected goals were 4.37 for the Panthers and 3.06 for Tampa. I'd say Tampa, yeah, they got outplayed, but they still only lost 3-2. So if they play a bit better, I think they could even up the series at 1. And Tampa, they've always been good off a loss in the playoffs. So the same goes for Andrei Vasilevsky. So at plus 150, I like them to even it up on the road. And of course, the Tampa Bay won first period over. It's just an auto bet for me. 22-6 last 28 games.
For which team is that? 22-6.
Tampa Bay.
22-6 to the over in the first period. The last 28 Tampa Bay Lightning games.
Yeah. I think I might throw a little bit on both teams to score in the first period. That should be around plus 180. That's what we did get that in game 1. Both teams were able to score a goal. But Tampa Bay money line and first period over. I also like the full game over, but I think I'm just going to stick with the first period.
With those two? Yeah, plus 150. I'm writing that one down. Plus 150. And as soon as you said it, someone in the comments said they love the pick, that they're on the Lightning too. So let's go Lightning money line. I'm adding it to my list. Okay. Game number 3. Colorado, Winnipeg. All right. 6.5. We finally got a 6.5 game. Every single game's been 5.5 that we did so far. So we finally got a 6.5 total here. And I'm assuming, because based on what you told me about the Avalanche the first time you came on, this is a team who you trust them to score goals, but you don't trust them to make stops, correct?
Yeah. So I got the over at 6. I think there's a few 6s up. I think 6.5. I'd still play it, but maybe a bit less on it. It opened at 5.5, and it was immediately bet up to 6. Now I'm seeing 6.5 in some places, but yeah, I got it at 6 personally. So game 1 was absolutely insane. It was 7-6. The Jets won. We had the Jets in that game. So the main story, Alexander Georgiev, he was absolutely horrendous. He gave up 7 goals on 23 shots. So right now, there's really no player in the NHL that's facing more pressure than him right now. And that's back-to-back games that the Jets have put up a touchdown and an extra point on the Avalanche. 7 goals scored by the Jets on the Avalanche, 2 games in a row. Personally, I do not trust Georgiev to bounce back. His mental health is probably in the sewer right now. His coach didn't even stick up for him. And it's not really a rare thing for him to just completely shit the bed and give up a ton of goals. It's been happening for 2 months, the last 2 months or so. And honestly, I can't really blame him. He's been overworked all season. Avalanche failed to get a good backup. He's been playing in every game, and now they're in a spot they're just completely relying on him. Justus Annunen, the main backup, he's still unavailable. He's out with an illness, and so either they can go with Georgiev or they have goalie they call up from the AHL, Ivan Prosvetov, and I doubt he'll be in unless it gets really bad for Georgiev, but then we'll be over 6 already for sure. So, and as for the Avalanche, I'm not going to say the Jets didn't deserve to win game 1, but Colorado definitely generated way more offensively than the Jets. They still put up 6 goals. So if they want to win, they're going to have to put up 4 more. So yeah, I like the over here for sure.
Yeah, there is a 6 available at minus 125, by the way. You could still get that. I think it's BetMGM. I looked 10 minutes ago, and it was there. And I also have a graphic here for Avalanche team total over. I'm assuming that you like Colorado team total over as well?
Yeah, I do like that as well. I think they can score 4 goals here again. They know that, okay, our goaltending is probably not going to be. I mean, I expect Georgiev to play better, but better means maybe only giving up 4 goals instead of 7. So, that Colorado's they're gonna need to score if they want to even the series up at 1. So at 3, I mean, I think they get 4, but over 3, you push if they get 3. So I like that also.
Cool. And someone just said Georgiev, the goalie, is starting, confirmed. So
yeah, no, he's starting. Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to game number 4, final NHL game for the night. And we got Nashville, Vancouver. And I don't know, I thought I had to double check because I was like, there's no way the line moved this much. This line, so you can see it in the bottom left. Last night, this was minus 158. It's now all the way down to minus 130. So, which would indicate a lot of action coming in on the Predators.
It's because the Canucks main starting goalie, he's going to be out. He's out for this game. Yeah, he's out for this game, and he could be out for the rest of the series. So that's massive news for the Canucks. So I just have a lean on this game. Predators team total over 2.5. So Casey DeSmith is his replacement. He's not close to as good as Demko. I'd say Demko's a top 5 goalie in the league. And Nashville, they were able to get 2 on Demko, but I mean, DeSmith, obviously, he's not as good. So, in theory, they should be able to get 3, especially coming off a loss. But the Predators haven't scored more than 2 against the Canucks all year in 4 meetings now, including one game against Steve Smith. And I could see the Canucks just stepping up on defense because they know, hey, we're not going to have Demko in net. So we need to really step it up on defense. But I still think the Predators can get 3 goals here, and I would lean them to win the game. And if they win, I'd say they probably score 3. So that's just a lean for me.
So Predators at plus money against the backup goalie. Are the Canucks, the rest of the roster, just that much better than Nashville? I'm assuming, because plus money against a backup goalie, in my head, not having followed the NHL this year, that seems like a valuable bet to make.
I mean, I think it's more so the home ice advantage, and that's why they're still like decent favorites. I think I'm seeing minus 125 still for the Canucks, but I wouldn't say they're like massively better than the Predators. The Predators are still a really good team, and now they do have the goaltending advantage with Juuse Saros in net. So it's really just the home ice. So
all right, cool. So Nashville team total over 2.5. You said that was a lean though.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I might play it. We'll see.
Cool. All right. So our poll in that one is 61%, 20. All right. So the community loves the Predators here. 61% of you said you're taking the Predators at plus money. So, all right. So it looks like people coming in on the Predators, fading the backup goalie. Next, we're about to head into NBA. Make sure you guys give System Plays a follow on Twitter. I tagged him in my tweet. So if you follow me, it says NHL.System Plays right there. So you could just give him a follow. Appreciate him taking his time to come on. So, yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later tonight. Later. All right. It's NBA time. And I saw Toast. Do I have time to smoke? Yeah, bro. We got 3 NBA games to do. You got time. Also, quit smoking, bro. All right, I got Mr. Modai already in here waiting. Let's get him up.
What's up?
Hell, what's up, man? Bro, you need to talk to the wife, the fiance. We had a loaded weekend of sports and no Modai doing wife things.
Well, this weekend was actually mostly spent moving. So that I unfortunately can't get out of.
I hope you caught a glimpse of the New York-Philadelphia series. Did you happen to catch that?
I was told that a series doesn't start until a home team wins. So
someone lied to you.
It's 0-0 series. Every single playoff series right now is 0-0.
Yeah, everyone, right?
Literally every single one.
I will say, as a Knicks fan, I took Sixers plus the points in the last night's game, and I still feel like in both games, when Embiid's on the floor, that Philly's the better team when Embiid's on the floor. So by no means am I celebrating that one, but it's definitely awesome to be up 2-0, I'll tell you that.
For sure. And, the Knicks, Brunson hasn't done anything. They're winning with these hustle plays, which is like a way, which is not to invalidate their victories. It's just, as a Sixers fan, it's the most frustrating way to watch your team lose. It's just put a fucking body on Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson.
3-pointers, Moda.
Yeah, Josh Hart.
Yeah, that is what it is. If Josh Hart's gonna hit pull up 3-pointers, at some point you gotta just there's not much you can do about that.
Josh Hart, aka Reggie Miller.
Literally.
Reggie Hart, man.
Reggie Hart.
Reggie Hart. Like Josh Curry.
Yeah, Josh Hart's been huge. And the hustle plays, 100%. The team just gives you so much confidence in, even if you don't like the matchup, it's they'll figure it out, though, because this Knicks team just find ways to win. I mean, I believe it's 22-3 with OG Anunoby on the floor now.
Yep.
This is already a top 5 defense, and they added... I think a lot of people, because of the injuries, don't realize quite how good OG Anunoby is because he's always been hurt. This dude almost won DPOY a couple years back, and he's young. This is a guy that could be potentially, if he stays healthy, one of the best defensive players in the league. There's a reason the Knicks traded RJ Barrett for him because there's a lot of upside.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, he can clamp anybody. They put him on Maxey. He could guard Embiid. I mean, we see him guard Giannis. Well, he can guard whoever you want. Anyway. Can we talk Phoenix, Minnesota? And admittedly, let me start out by saying I may have backed myself into a bit of a corner here before game 1, my exact words were, I'm taking the Suns, and if they lose, I'm going right back to the Suns in game 2. Not to say I regret betting the Suns in game 2. I didn't realize quite how dominant Minnesota was going to look in game 1. I'm still in the Suns. I'm not saying I wish I bet Minnesota at all. I still like the Suns. Gun to my head, forced to pick a side. I still like the Suns plus the points. I was just definitely very impressed with how Minnesota came out. So let me put my pick up. And Chris, did you catch Ski Show by any chance today? I was on Ski Show.
No, I did not.
Okay, so basically, I think the rebounding in game 1 was 52-28. 52-28. Now, I know some people who don't look at the box scores every day like we do might be like, oh, yeah, Townsend Gobert, that makes sense. No, that's crazy. That's Minnesota against Cal. That's Minnesota against Stanford. That's crazy. And these two teams on the season were like, I think 12th and 14th in rebounding rate. So this year, it's not like the Minnesota Timberwolves were head and shoulders better than the Suns at rebounding. It wasn't like that. Now, Towns missed a chunk of the season. And with Towns on the floor, Minnesota is going to be the better rebounding team. But 52-28 is crazy. So that's going to get closer. There's no way the Suns are going to almost get doubled up on the glass again. So there's a big area right off the bat where I feel regression is on Phoenix side. Also, I mean, this goes without saying, and as I was just scrolling through the graphics, I see one of you guys has a Booker bet, which goes right in line with what I'm thinking. Devin Booker, what was he, 5 of 18? This is a guy who can score on any defense. I know there's a lot of Booker in the playoffs folds. I don't know about that. I don't really know. I mean, I feel like if you want to say that about James Harden, maybe we have a larger sample size, but I don't think we've seen enough Booker folding in the playoffs to really hammer down that take. I expect Booker to bounce back and have a big game. This is a guy, it's not just the fact that Devin Booker's the man and he'll bounce back because he's a superstar, which is true, but it's more so the way this guy plays. When he's hitting those contested 20-footers, which he is all the time, it doesn't matter. They could be playing Minnesota. They could be playing the 04 Pistons. It doesn't matter the defense because you can't guard that shot. So this is a guy who gets his shot regardless of the defense he's playing. And it looks like Minnesota's defense is going to be a problem in this series. I think Booker's going to get his. So I like Booker to bounce back. And Anthony Edwards, by no means am I saying he has a shitty game at all. He's probably going to be the best player in the league in a year or two. He's really that guy. I mean, it's impressive. He's not going to shoot 58% the entire playoffs. I mean, a couple of those shots aren't going to fall. So I think regression is all on the side of the Suns, and I'm sticking to my guns. I still think the Suns win this series. I think there's a little bit of overreaction in a sense that I think people are sort of forgetting what we saw from Minnesota the last few months. I mean, there are times where that offense looks really stale. And also, Karl-Anthony Towns, everyone's remembering the good. You guys don't remember the bad about Karl-Anthony Towns in the playoffs? You don't remember the bad with Karl-Anthony Towns and his turnover problems? His problems, terribly inefficient shooting? We want to talk about Devin Booker in the playoffs. Let's bring up Karl-Anthony Towns in the playoffs. So I like the side I'm on, but if you're on Minnesota, I'm not sitting here pointing at you saying you're wrong. I get it. But I'm comfortable on Phoenix.
First of all, I want to know who's out here saying that Devin Booker doesn't show up in the playoffs.
Several comments.
Those people are making assumptions based on the last 2 playoff games that he played. He was bad last year in Game 6. He was bad in Game 1. Even if you include those, he's played 44 playoff games. He's averaged 27.8 points, almost 28 points per game, over 5 assists and over 5 rebounds per game. That is not James Harden. That is not Joel Embiid. That is someone that shows up in the playoffs. Anyways, I'm with you on the Suns. I thought Minnesota would come out looking like they did in Game 1. A young team wanting to prove a point. I was totally expecting that. I think the Suns at least cover the 3. I think they win straight up as well. And the Devin Booker graphic is mine. I think that Devin Booker is going to have a good game today. He scored 25 points in 10 of his last 12 playoff games. That obviously was 10 of 11 last year, and then he missed it this year. Or excuse me, this one game. And admittedly, I was on Brunson points yesterday. I didn't think he was going to have 2 inefficient shooting games.
Under.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, the Philly
Sharp
has played
alert.
him well.
Sharp alert.
Yeah. Philly has played him well, but a lot of those shots were shots that you see him make in the regular season. Yeah. But anyways, I think like Devin Booker, you're right. He was 5 of 16 from the field. He scored 18 points. And I know that like the Timberwolves have a good defense. I get it. But Devin Booker, like you said, he can score on anybody. And I'll gladly trust his career playoff metrics than one bad game, especially in a game where KD was going. KD scored like 11 points in the first quarter or something. Like it was just Kevin Durant's game. Kevin Durant can blow up again. He's Kevin Durant, but I think that Devin Booker's going to have a good game. I'll gladly take him to bounce back after a bad game one. And I get that it's a different team, a different situation. But last year, I mean, he averaged over 30 points per game in that Nuggets series that they ended up losing. Like his over-under in that series was in the 30s, which I get. I get why it's priced at 24.5. But if you just think about it in that context, like getting him at like less than 25 points to show up in the playoffs, like I think that's a great bounce back, buy low opportunity on Devin Booker. And the like I will say the odds on this have gone down. I thought it was a good price. I locked this in at -120 at the same number, 24.5. It's now -110. So the market's not agreeing with me, but I'm still fully on board with this play for Devin Booker.
I think everyone's just drinking the Minnesota Kool-Aid right now, man. I think that's what it is. And I want to bring this up real quick. I think we found RC's burner. Tell me this isn't a YouCapper stat right here. T-Wolves 14 of 28 against the spread first quarter at home this season. That's dead last in the NBA. 1-9 against the spread the last 10. 0-5 against the spread last 5. Hopefully that's correct. We've had issues with me bringing up comments with incorrect stats. I hope that one's good. But it's interesting if it is true.
Yeah, I think that that sounds pretty accurate here, Cal. And I think I was actually thinking Suns early in this spot as well. And you know what's crazy is the Timberwolves actually lost the first quarter. They were that was the only thing that they didn't cover. They covered the first half in the full game, but they were minus a half a point. And the Suns hit the 3 at the end of the first quarter and covered the first. I think it was Royce O'Neal who hit a 3, and they ended up winning the first quarter by 1 point. For whatever reason, and if you like Phoenix, I think you do like them early. They've been the better first half team. One of the better first half teams, and then their offense can get stale, but. +3 with you guys. I hate to sound like I'm on the same side and not giving an opinion from the other side, but as you mentioned, Kyle, the one thing you talked about the rebounding being 52 to 28. I think if you look deeper, it was 13-3 on the offensive glass. Minnesota was the 6th worst offensive rebounding team in the league. So I think that was effort, right? When to Modai's point, when you think about the Timberwolves, they had a lot more to prove. Like Modai said, they actually lost the season series 3-0. We should have probably thought about that, Kyle, before we took Phoenix in game 1, right? Yeah. But I think we get a bounce back effort here. A few more discrepancies. Minnesota had 26 assists to Phoenix only 16. Phoenix actually averaged more assists than the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the points in the paint, I know you mentioned, you always talk about the Timberwolves, scoring more points in the paint, Kyle, but not to this discrepancy. Like it was 18 points, so it was 52 to 34. So I think we see a little bit more balance there. And the bench as well, it was 41 to 18. Phoenix's bench actually averages more points than the Timberwolves. And I know Phoenix's bench is on the road, but I think they get some more points there. Minnesota won the 3-point contest. They were +9 there. You see us Phoenix Suns, who've been lights out from the 3-point line, only shoot 32%. So I think we see some aggression there. And then I looked at this as well. After the All-Star break, the Phoenix Suns were actually 6-1 straight up, 5-2 against the spread on the road coming off a loss. You typically don't want to back them coming off a win, and that's what we did, Kyle. We backed them coming off a win in game 1 for whatever reason. But they've actually covered the last 4 games in a row, won and covered the last 4 games in a row when they're coming off a loss after the All-Star break. A couple more things I wanted to mention real quick. With the big 3, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant, Phoenix is now 26-16 straight up. That's 62%. 5-3 against the spread when they're dogs with all 3 of those guys, and 15-10 straight up on the road. They're +4. So if I can get +3 here, I'll take it, and I'll live with the results here. I like Phoenix +3.
Phoenix up. Yeah, I like the points in the paint and the bench points too. Didn't even know that, so gives me a little more confidence. I'm already in. I actually have a bet on the Suns money line as well, so I'm in on Phoenix. Hopefully the Suns don't let me down here. Someone said, if you want to talk about playoff no-shows, look at Anthony Edwards. Guy is good, but his resume has 0 team accomplishments. He's like 24 years old, though. Like, he's a kid.
Because he didn't beat the Nuggets last year as the 8 seed like that. So
yeah, like he hasn't had a ton of opportunities in Anthony Edwards. I'm on the Suns, but like, give the guy a break.
Some of these the ring culture. It's just like only
culture.
grading stuff as wins and losses. It's anyways.
Pacers, Bucks. Bucks -1. Over 223.5. Under 223.5. Pacers, Bucks, game 2. I feel like everyone hates my pick in this one, and I like it. If you guys remember, in game 1, I split my money in half. I put half on Pacers, half on Bucks team total under, which saved me because I broke even on this game because obviously the Pacers did not cover, did not win, but the Bucks stayed under their total, which was 115.5. Final score was 109.94. I'm going right back to the Pacers, and I'm not splitting my money this time. All on Indiana. I don't do like top bets or locks or anything, but I think this is my favorite bet of the night here. There's just so much regression on the side of the Pacers in this one. I think everyone's kind of forgotten how bad the Bucks looked this season without Giannis. This was not a team you could trust, and specifically the type of team they become without Giannis is a perfect matchup for the Pacers. Now, I know what we just saw in Game 1, but if you just look at the box score of that game, that's just a simple case of one team's shots are falling and one team's aren't. I mean, Pacers are a top 5 3-point defense. Their defense struggles elsewhere, but they're a top 5 3-point defense. Damian Lillard, 6 of 11 from 3. I believe all in the first half, right? Everything was in the first half. So basically you had a superstar in Damian Lillard who got hot as hell in the first half. That's what happened in that game. If you notice, when Damian Lillard's shot stopped falling in the second half, Pacers battled all the way back and actually made it interesting for a little while. They were just so deep in a hole that it was just too little too late at that point. This is a Pacers defense that can limit three-point shooting, and without Giannis, that's all the Bucks have. Giannis is the guy that gets to the rim, that attacks the interior of their opponent's defense, which is the weak spot for the Pacers. So I really think game 1 was an anomaly, a little bit of an outlier. I like the Bucks to win this series. If you remember in our brackets, I had the Bucks advancing here, but I'm counting on Giannis to come back because Giannis is the worst nightmare for how this Pacers team is built. They need to get to the rim and score. Giannis is an elite rim protector. They can't defend the basket. Giannis attacks the basket as good as anyone in the league. So with Giannis on the floor, this series is entirely different for me. This matchup is entirely different. But without Giannis, the way this Bucks team without Giannis on the floor, I think is favorable to the Pacers, and I think we just saw a really cold shooting night from Indiana, and we saw Damian Lillard get red hot in the first half. So I like the Pacers to take care of business and even this series up. And actually, I hope they do it decisively, not only so I can win my bet, but also I hope it goes back to Game 3 in Indiana and everyone's starting to drink the Pacers Kool-Aid and we get like a Pacers -2 with Giannis back, and I will hit Bucks money line hard as all hell in that game. So that's my plan. Hopefully everything goes as scheduled.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I would take the Pacers spread on this one as well. My play is Damian Lillard under 6.5 assists. I admittedly hadn't been taking as many unders as I probably should have. I just been looking at overs recently. But he ended game 1. He only had 3 assists, but more importantly, he only had 11 potential assists, and that's more in line with what I think is something you can rely on, that 11 potential assist number, if not even lower than that. And everybody's going to want to say, they're going to play him differently. He didn't score at all in the second half. Like, his passing is going to go up. He had 1 assist in the second half. Literally 2 of his 3 assists came in the first half when he was dominating. And generally, he does not get as many assists without Giannis. He's played 9 games this year, including this one playoff game. He's only gone over 6.5 assists in 3 of those 9 games. Granted, the 3 games he went over, he's skyrocketed over. He had 13 in one, 16 in another. But he went under in 6 of 9 games without Giannis. And against the Pacers specifically, it's not a matchup that you want to target point guard assists. The reason why they give up so many points at the rim, the reason why they don't give up any a lot of 3-point shots is they stick to their shooters and they don't send help. They don't have like that great one-on-one defenders. So generally guys just waltz to the rim and they're able to score at will. They give up like the most points in isolation, the most points to pick and roll ball handlers. No spot up points allowed, no points to the pick and roll man specifically, which is like the 2 most common ways you get assists. And he's played 5 games this year against the Pacers. He's only gone over 6.5 assists in 1 of those 5 games. And in that game, he had 7 assists. So that's an over, but 10 potential assists. And he's averaging 9.6 potential assists in the 5 games against the Pacers. Granted, yeah, Giannis played in 4 of those 5 games, but as I mentioned, his assist rate is better when Giannis is on the floor. And the Pacers, like just to my point about them, you not being a matchup you want to target for point guard assists, they gave up literally on the year the fewest assists specifically to point guards. And even if you want to go into like his playmaking style, look a little bit more detailed, like via courtside pal, they allow the 6th fewest assists specifically to Dame's playmaking style. So even again, if they play him differently, he had 1 assist in the second half when he didn't score a point. And that's kind of, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to have like 2 assists this game, but the 7 number is way too rich for my blood.
Okay, so Dame under 6.5 assists. And Mode, I also mentioned he leans towards me, I should say. I don't know where Chris is on yet with the Pacers. Another one comes in from YouCapper's burner. Bucks 26-16 first quarter against the spread, second best in the NBA. 9-1 last 10, 5-0 last 5. Pacers under 500, just 17-25 first quarter on the road. So thank you for that comment. Hopefully it's accurate.
So Kyle, I didn't bet this one, and I didn't bet Sunday's game either, or Saturday's game whenever they play. But
you have Pacers winning this series though, right? Or you did? I should say.
No, I do. No, I still do. I do. And for that reason, just listening to your breakdown and all my notes, Kyle, of course I deep dived into the game. I just didn't play it. But I do think it's a Pacers bounce back spot. I would be with you here. I think the biggest thing is like. And, you hear the players talk about it after the game. It's a make or miss league. You make those shots and you win the game. You miss those shots and you don't. So credit to the Bucks defense and them being able to kind of hold serve as home favorites. But that first game, they had an offensive rating of 97.9. We're talking about the best offense in the NBA by far, held to just 39%. I think that absolutely regresses to the mean. I know Indiana's not a three-point shooting team, but they shot 21% from the three-point line on 3 for 38 shooting. 3 for 38 shooting from the three-point line. In Milwaukee, I think we see some regression here. We always talk about how good this Indiana Pacers three-point defense is. And if you take away Damian Lillard 6 for 11 three-point shooting, they don't really make that many more threes. I think Malik Beasley hit a couple off the bench. So I think it's going to be much more difficult for the Bucks to be able to score here. And the Pacers also, they won. They only had 12 fast break points. The Bucks defense isn't that great against the fast break. They also won the rebounding battle. I think they beat them 50-47, even though they lost the game. And they beat them on the offensive glass 14-5. So the other thing I looked at in this game, Kyle, was the Pacers after in these quick revenge spots. So the Pacers have faced 3 opponents this season within a 3-day span after losing, and they've won each game afterwards. So they're 3-0 straight up and against the spread when they're facing an opponent that they previously lost to within 3 days if they get a rematch. And the only reason I'm pointing that out is because the 3 opponents were Philly, Miami, and Boston.
In New Orleans, they did too. Oh, there was a game in between though in New Orleans.
They beat New Orleans first. Remember?
Oh, that was the opposite.
This is them losing, and then they get a revenge matchup. So all 3 of those games, Philly, Miami, Boston, they beat each one of them, and those are all teams in the playoffs. So right. I think they could do it without a Giannis-less Milwaukee Bucks team as well.
Let's do it. I'm with you. Pacers up.
I'm just scared, Kyle, because I like all the road teams, and the road teams are like 1-16 or 1-15.
I'm off.
No, I don't think they.
You know what? I took Sixers on the road and got my cover yesterday. Speaking of road teams, who's taking Dallas? Yeah. All right.
I got to do it, Kyle. I feel like you're the right side.
All right.
We're 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. Why don't you take the lead on this one? Because I am not on that side.
Yeah. All right. So cool. So I haven't played this yet, just to be full transparency. I want to see what happened with the line. We see it coming down. I think it opened at 2. It went up to 2.5 in favor of Dallas. So money was already coming in on Dallas to get the bounce back. And then, of course, Kawhi went through shoot around today, and he is listed as questionable. But I was looking at it. Kawhi hasn't played basketball in 21 days. So this could be a pump fake. I think another thing to mention real quick before I jump into the analysis is that we talk about the injury report, Kyle, and Maxey yesterday. James Harden said in the post-game interview they knew 2 days before that Kawhi wasn't going to play, but they just didn't release that information to anybody else. I would have liked to know that. But anyway, Dallas, I think Dallas picks up where they left off at. They outscored the Clippers by 14 in the second half. You listen to the post-game interviews. Luka says it's on him, direct quote from Luka. I just got to stay more aggressive. That was my bad in the first half. I wasn't aggressive enough. So I got to stay aggressive and find the open man. And I think that he will be. Luka played terrible in that first half. The Dallas Mavericks only scored 8 points in the second quarter. So outliers from the game, Kyle. Regression from the 3-point line for the Clippers. They shot 18 for 36, 50%. They were the best first game team from the 3-point line. On the season, they make 12.5 threes. They finished 16th, and they shoot 38%, which is 6th, I guess. I'll give them credit there. But Dallas, they only allow 13 threes, which is 20th, and they only allow teams to shoot 36.8%. So be some major regression there from 50% back down to about 36%, because I do think we get a locked-in Dallas team. And if Kawhi doesn't play, I looked into this as well. Last 15 games without Kawhi, before the postseason game that just happened, they only made 12 threes and they shot them at 33%. So I think we see some major regression from the 3-point line. That's major regression from this Clippers team. Now, positive regression coming from the Dallas team. Dallas shot 30% from the 3-point line. They shot 10 for 33. But they finished the season making 14.5 threes per game, which was actually third best in the league behind only the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors. And they shot it at 37%, which was 13th. So I think we do see some regression there. I think Luka, Kyrie, not only scored, but they get the other guys involved. Outside of PJ Washington, nobody else even had double digits, and he shot 4 for 10 from the field. And I think we see regression a little bit from Dallas in the paint. I'm not expecting Zubac to go out there and look like Baby Shaq anymore. Dallas had 36 points in the paint in game 1. And after the All-Star break, the Clippers, not the Clippers. The Dallas Mavericks only allowed the 6 fewest points in the paint. So I don't think that that's going to continue to happen. Like now that, especially if Kawhi comes back, like I don't think the game plan is going to be given to Zubac and get out the way. But yeah, I think it's a bounce back spot here. Last thing I want to mention, I did look into this trend. So in series game number 2, where the favorite lost the first one, but they opened back up as the favorite in the second one, 72-18 straight up. That's 80%. 53, 36, and 1 against the spread. That's 59.6%, including 20-5 straight up, 19-6 against the spread since the 2018 season. And you also got Dallas 7-3 straight up, 8-2 against the spread when they're revenging the loss after the All-Star break. So I think we see major regression here. And I do think that Dallas is going to win the series. So I did take them here, Cal, to go back to Dallas 1-1.
Yeah, I'm not okay. So this is what I did, and this is by far my least confident game. I did put the Clippers down on as my pick for the game, but I think the best bet would be the under here. And what weirds me out about this game is I'm gonna pull it up to show you guys the exact numbers, because they almost don't even make sense. And I took Dallas at game 1 because I basically called bullshit on them. The Clippers' defensive numbers recently are like
terrible.
No, they're good.
I guess depending on the time frame. I was looking at since the All-Star break.
Oh no, last 5 games.
Okay.
And that's what has me scratching my head. That you almost made my point for me. I thought the Clippers have a terrible defense, right? I thought we all can join hands and agree on that. Well, in the last 5 games, they're actually first in 3-point defense. I don't know. I have no clue on this game. I don't want to waste you. And I was talking about this on Ski's show. This is eerily similar. 2 years ago, these two teams went 7 games. You guys remember that?
The road team won every game except for game 7.
I went 0-6 against the spread through the first 6 games of that series. And then I finally got Dallas right on the final game. So I don't know if maybe it's a thing with these two teams. I feel like I'm throwing darts in the dark. I feel like I have no idea. So if under would be my best bet. That's what I posted on my website for this game, was the under, because if the Clippers are showing up and playing some energy on defense, maybe if you like Dallas, a Clippers team total under, some regression for Harden shooting the ball, Paul George, maybe Kawhi Leonard not 100% in sync yet. Both these defenses have been good. I don't even know. I can't even say Clippers defense has been good because it doesn't even make sense. So I don't know.
You sound like me trying to cap the Lakers in the Denver Nuggets game, Kyle. Every time I was on the wrong side twice already, so yeah, I had a feeling.
Yep. So under for me.
I would take the Mavericks in this one. I'm surprised. Like this, they were minus 130 when this line opened up. That was their money line, the Mavericks. Obviously, it's moved the opposite way now, but I would lean towards the Mavericks. One comment. Like someone said, Luka is cool in the regular season when nobody defends. Now he's worthless. Do people just forget what happened in the playoffs? Like the first 3 years of Luka's career when he made the playoffs, he was amazing. It's like
he just went to the Western Conference Finals like 2 years ago.
And even in both series against the Clippers, when they lost both series, he was phenomenal. Like I don't know. It's people forget way too quickly.
I know.
Anyways, I have 2 plays in this game, so I'll be quick. Number 1 is Luka over 33.5 points. I was able to get it at 32.5. That immediately got steamed up to 33. Even though we technically did cash the over 32.5 that I locked in, he ended with exactly 33 points. So let's hope that doesn't happen again. But even though like his point total doesn't look bad, that was not a good Luka game. He was 1 of 7 from deep in the first half. He shot 11 of 26 from the field. He was 4 of 12 from deep. And the same kind of similar to Jalen Brunson, he was missing shots that Luka normally makes. Like they guard him pretty tightly, but he can still get shots off. He can still get to the rim off a pick and roll. Like it's just barbecue chicken with whoever switches on him in a pick and roll. And the Clippers like to have a switching defense because that's what Harden does. He doesn't chase the screens. He just switches. And like there's actually a pretty decent sample size with these 2 teams in the playoffs. With like the Mavericks supporting cast has rotated a little bit. With the Clippers, it's like Kawhi is different and Russell Westbrook is different, but it's the same 2 main guys. PG, obviously Kawhi didn't play in game 1. But anyways, in 14 games against the Clippers in his career, he's hit 34 more points in 8 of those games. He actually got 40 another 5 times. So 5 of the 8 times he went over, he scored 40 points. I'm not quite there with the ceiling of 40 because I mean most games are being called differently, so like the scoring is way down. But I just think that like if you give me that same exact shot profile from game 1, he's going to score 34 more points more often than not. And he even still ended with 33 despite not shooting well. And then my second play, and I did see some comments about this that I agreed on. James Harden under 2.5 made 3-pointers plus 125 at Bet365. I've seen this movie with James Harden a million times. He made 6 3-pointers in the first game. Look at his playoff game log last year. He made 3 or more 3-pointers 4 times in 11 playoff games last year. I'm a Sixers fan. I remember not a single time did he follow that up with another good shooting game from deep. If you want to go through the entire game log, I did that on my own YouTube channel. I don't need to bore anybody with the details, but he had literally never followed up a game with 3 or more made 3-pointers with another one the game after in the playoffs, especially with only 1 day in between. Like, I don't know what it is with Harden, if it's like mental, if it's his body just physically can't handle the playoff atmosphere anymore. And if Kawhi plays, I would think this is even better play for Harden. So yeah, 2 player props for this one. And then I would lean towards Mavs straight up money line as well.
Yeah, so I pulled it up just on the NBA advanced stats. Clippers last 5 games defensive rating 4th in the NBA. Oh, that's in the last 4 games. Last 5 games 5th in the NBA. Last 10 games 8th. So if the Clippers are playing good defense, that just kind of like makes me take a step back and question how I feel about this series. And someone said in the comments, Luka Doncic leads in NBA history the most points per game in playoff history.
I didn't even know that. That just helped my point even more.
Most points per game in playoff history. All right. That's crazy. All right. Let's do a poll. Find out what everyone's favorite side was. Even though last night everyone's favorite side was Nuggets -7. We all know the tragic end to that one. So what did they vote for in the first game? They liked the Suns. It was the Suns won the poll. Then it was who won the poll in the second game? Did the Pacers win that? I think the Pacers did slightly win that.
Yeah, they did.
All right, and the poll in that one was Mavericks. So Mavericks plus 1.5. All right, so wow, the community likes the road team in all 3. So community, what is your favorite? Let me refresh this page here.
Hopefully the road team wins because I like all of them too.
Yeah, I'm on 2 of them. The Clippers one, I think I just went under, and I also did put a half unit on the Clippers, but I got it at +2 before Kawhi was looking optimistic. So I got some CLV if nothing else. Why is no one voting on this? Is this not working? Let me rerun the poll.
Yeah, it said I tried. It said vote didn't go through. Try again.
Okay, so Suns +3, Pacers +1, Mavericks +1.5. All right, now let's find out what everyone's favorite side is. Is YouTube being buggy or something? All right, here we go. Now votes are coming in. Really? The Suns? You guys big on the Suns like that? Ski likes Minnesota. YouCapper likes Minnesota. The rest of the regulars are on the T-Wolves. I told Ski he's drinking that Minnesota Kool-Aid, man. He fell victim.
every time I bet the Suns, Kyle, they lose, and then I don't back them the next game and they win. So
Yeah.
I gotta back them tonight because that just means they're gonna give my money back that they lost me the other day.
Yeah, that's why I threw a money line on. I'll be 1-1, but I'll be in the green.
yeah. I'm playing money line too. Now that you said it, they're not coming in to cover the spread. They're coming in to win the game.
Right. So Suns are the community's favorite pick against the spread is the Suns. Make sure you follow these guys on Twitter. Appreciate them taking the time. Oh, Matt, you're sticking around. Matt's staying for
I'll be
baseball.
here.
Make sure you follow Chris on Twitter. Appreciate him taking the time. He also does a show on YouTube. What time's you putting out your next thing?
7:30 a.m. for my early risers, trying to get ahead of the lines, man. Appreciate you guys having me on. Best of luck tonight, fellas.
All right. Talk to you later, Chris.
All right, I'm out.
All right. Oh, I got to switch mode. I got you in prop Beaver spot.
There's a commenter whose name is the Eighth Hokage, which I absolutely love. I'm guessing you guys have no idea what that means, but as an anime fan, I think that's awesome. But his comment saying Modai works for the books, so a little bit mean there, but I respect the name, so it's all good.
Shell.
I just can't do cartoons. That's all.
Toast can't do anything. He doesn't watch any movies.
It's true.
Beaver, you're a big movie guy, right?
Yes, big movie guy, massive anime hater though. Really do not like anime. Sorry though.
Is it just
sorry,
because,
Modai.
Is it cool to hate anime, or have you watched it and not enjoyed it?
I've watched it and not enjoyed it.
Okay.
I've given it a chance. I'm not a snob. I try. It's
I know.
not for me.
I know a lot of pro athletes that love anime, so there's got to be something.
Hey, my $1 million idea is I start an anime podcast with professional athletes, and we don't talk at all about sports. They just get to nerd out about whatever their nerd fandom
I
is.
bet you that would do very well.
Yeah, I'm working on getting mutton out, and I'm not. It's just a cool idea, but yeah.
No, I'm
No,
not.
I'm not actually working on it. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Shall we start? Boston.
Can we talk some freaking
Absolutely.
baseball?
Can we talk some seam?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Boston's on the road in Cleveland. Tanner Houck making a road start, which means that's a spot we can trust him. Correct, Prop Beaver?
Yes. More times than not. Yes.
What about this time?
I don't know because this time's a little bit tricky because Mr. Tanner Houck, he faced the Angels, right? And he had dominated them in their first matchup. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, 0 earned runs. He then faced them again the next time around. He'll have 12 hits and 7 runs, so not very good. He's in the same spot here where he just pitched a Maddox against them. He went 9 innings. He didn't allow a single run. He had 9 Ks, but now he's going to face them again. So that's pretty brutal. I don't know. I don't really love this game. I was leaning the first 5 over here, but it was at minus 105 when I was looking at it earlier this morning. Now it's at like plus 105. So obviously I must be missing something here. I know Casas is out, and Devers is out, but they do get Tyler O'Neill back, which is nice. I don't really love this game. Not going to waste time about it. The last thing I want to do actually is talk about another Red Sox Guardians game. So pass.
Pass from Prop Beaver. Moda, you got a dong for us?
Not in this game. And dongs are not donging to start the year. Home runs are remarkably down. So I have been playing those a lot lighter than I did to begin the year.
Dude, go. You also like strikeout props. Start doing those.
That's what I've been doing. Yeah, I've been doing them more. And for this game, that's probably going to get rained out. So I didn't look at this one a ton. I like the under 8.5 minus 113. That was my graphic. This was a lean. This isn't one that I bet myself. It's mostly just because I like both starting pitchers. And the Red Sox, I guess they're getting O'Neill back, but they still have Devers out, is my understanding. And their offense has been relatively mediocre to like bottom 10 in a lot of advanced metrics that I look at. And then Tanner Houck is a stud, like 1.35 ERA, 2.84 expected, 2.02 FIP, 2.55 expected FIP, low barrel rate. He's just been phenomenal. And both these offenses are like Guardians are more average than anything, whereas Red Sox are like bottom 10. And I like Ben Lively. I think he's a decent pitcher. So I went the under here, but kind of like Prop Beavers is one of my favorite ones.
Someone just said in the comments, he goes, I know no one asked, but my unit size is 9 inches.
It's good stuff.
All right, Toast.
I'm on Cleveland here, and I kind of like it a lot. I think that we're getting a major discount with Boston or with Cleveland here, because Boston not only played really well to start the year on the road. I think they're 7-3 to start the year on the road. They've also won 3 games in a row against a really bad Pittsburgh team. On top of that, the world just saw, like Beaver illustrated, Tanner Houck just absolutely cleaned house against this Cleveland lineup. As he also illustrated, when he saw a team like the Angels the second time around, it didn't go so well. I also like Cleveland much more at home. Cleveland also low-key has been playing really good baseball as well lately. In their last 8 games, they're 7-1 their last 8. They've scored 12, 22, 29 runs their last 5 games. Or sorry, their last 4 games. And if you keep on going back, they were putting 8, 6, and 10 up against Boston. So they had 1 bad game in their last 8. Guess what that gun game was? Against Tanner Houck. Everything else, they've scored 5 runs or more in all those games. I'm not in love with Ben Lively, but he was. I think he's going to be serviceable. Cleveland's got everybody rested in their bullpen, ready to go. I just don't think Boston is nearly that good without those bats in the lineup. So I understand Tyler O'Neill's back, but I don't really expect much from him right away. I'm more than happy on the Cleveland side.
I would lean towards with Modi here at the under. Tanner Houck, I like trusting him away from Fenway Park. Like I said, I like trusting Tanner Houck on the road. Boston's lineup with the injuries is a mess right now. I actually like both these bullpens, or at least they've been pretty solid to start the season. I'm not a big Ben Lively guy, but wasn't there a stretch last season, Toast, where we were backing Ben Lively in Cincinnati? I'm pretty sure he had like a month and a half where he was pitching really well. He was with the Reds last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was betting Ben Lively and the Reds no matter what. So.
I'm pretty sure Ben Lively had like a stretch where he was solid. It was probably during that Reds hot streak, to be honest. All right.
Probably.
Well, this game might be rayed out, so let's not spend any more time on it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when through June, 2 runs against the Royals, 2 runs against the Rockies, 1 run against Milwaukee, 1 run against Milwaukee, 2 runs. Yeah, he faced Milwaukee a lot. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so
he was pitching have a really good stretch. Yeah.
He was definitely, I definitely remember him having a nice stretch with the Reds last year. I
used the word serviceable for Ben Lively.
Serviceable. Got it.
He had a pulse.
Speaking of the Brewers, Toast, we got undecided for the Brewers pitcher. Has it been decided? These graphics were made about an hour and a half ago.
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be this kid, Tobias Myers, actually. Oh, yeah, it is. He's going to be making his major league debut.
Tobias Myers.
Yeah.
Let me type him in. Let me see if I got notes. Go ahead.
For what I like, this kid I respect on Twitter, Ahan Rumta. I'm pretty sure Modi knows him too as well.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, cool kid. He knows a lot about ball. He was gassing up Tobias Myers because he was supposed to be a primary pitcher last week with that whole Freddie Peralta situation where we didn't know if he was going to be going or not. He didn't wind up going last week, so this is going to be his major league start. In the minors thus far, he's got a 1.62 ERA, 22 Ks to 7 walks over 16.2 innings. I think the Pirates' bats suck. So what I would do in this game, if I had a gun to my head, I would just take the first 5 under 4.5. I mean, Tobias, you have a pulse. You're facing the Pirates. These bats are horrendous. Just go out there and have a good outing, and you probably should do good because the Brewers can't really hit lefties. Bailey Falter, whether it's lucky or not, the dude's getting excellent results right now. Last 3 starts, 1.69 ERA, 195 WOBA, 0.69 WHIP. I mean, the Brewers only have one start against a lefty this year, 88 plate appearances, which is the fewest in the league. I think that Falter could catch the Brewers in a vulnerable spot here, and they're already not hitting as well. So I see no reason not to go right back to the first 5 under that cashed for me with ease yesterday.
First 5 under, and I remember there was a stretch, and no, this isn't a stretch. This is like most of last season. I'm pretty sure backing starting pitchers making their debut was very profitable, at least the first half of the season. I remember talking about that. Modi, anything here?
No, I passed on this one. I didn't know who was starting, so I didn't really look at it that much. And I promise this is the first 2 games, of course, were the ones that I had the least confidence on. The rest of them, I actually do have stuff that I bet. So
no worries. Toast, it was probably same thing, right? I mean, we didn't know who was pitching until just a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, it's going to be a pass. I don't hate Beavers under as well, but this Myers kid supposedly has a really, really good fastball. I mean, he struck out 19 guys in 14 2/3 innings. And then supposedly, I get now that I'm reading about this, supposedly his break on his fastball moves like an average break in the Major League Baseball is like 16 inches. His runs are like 18 to 20. So if that's the case, this kid might be really good, like the Brewers are talking about. And the Brewers are known for having really good pitching arms, so it wouldn't surprise me if he came out and dealt today.
All right. 53% people said the Brewers. Prop Beaver likes the first 5 under. Let's move to the next game. Phillies, Reds. Okay. So you got your Phillies on the road here, Great American Ballpark, Mr. Modi. You have any faith?
Yeah. I took the Phillies money line. I was able to get it at -125. Maybe this is a little bit square because it's the team that I root for, and they're on a 7-game winning streak. And 6 of those 7 games were against, or maybe all 7, were against the Rockies and the White Sox, 2 teams that aren't that good. But they've been rolling. Like, I feel like last stream I was on here talking about how bad their offense has been. That's basically turned around since I was last on here. They've been really good, even against lefties. They've been really good, and their starting pitching has been phenomenal all season, as has Christopher Sanchez. He's been good all year. But like looking at the last 14 days, which even does include part of their when they were cold, 8th best WRC plus, 7th best basically every other advanced stat, 7th best WOBA, 7th best WRAA, 7th best ISO, 7th best OPS. So basically the 7th best offense over the last 2 weeks in every metric against lefties. I actually do like Andrew Abbott. I think he's a pretty good pitcher. But I just like rolling with the Phillies here, even without Harper in the lineup. Congrats on being a dad. I just think the Phillies keep rolling.
I went with the Phillies yesterday. I had a full unit on it. Didn't care that it was square. I don't know. I think Sanchez might get hit up, and Abbott's got some good stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards the Reds. Let's see what Toe says.
Oh, I'm on the Phillies again, 100%. Bet them last night. Have no issue in any way. Cincinnati is not hitting. Point blank, period. I don't care about the 2-7.
So seeing a lefty seeing a lefty snap him out of it. Well, they just saw Ranger Suarez actually.
I was gonna say I don't really care who they see. They could throw Prop Beaver out there, and I'd still be betting.
Prop Beaver's got good stuff.
I was gonna say my knuckleball's crazy.
I know his control is a little out there, but I know that he'll pound strikes if I bet on him. So regardless, I truly believe that this Cincinnati offense is really dead right now. I think those 2 7-run performances against LA are very fraudulent. Besides that, they really haven't been scoring any runs, and this Philly team has been on an absolute roll that Mike Modi just talked about. So I'm not in love with Sanchez, but he's looked really good to start the year. I know the Phillies bullpen has been bad to start the year, but I do trust the names in that bullpen. They're all rested and ready to go. I'm going to, if you're going to give me the Phillies at this cheap price, I'm going to continue to bet them just like I did yesterday.
Yeah. Prop Beaver.
Jesus Christ, man. I mean, hide your feelings a little bit. So I didn't go with the Phillies because I don't know about the Christopher Sanchez thing. I love Christopher Sanchez. I'm a big Christopher Sanchez guy, but the Reds' production against lefties thus far has been so extreme that I don't want to have to deal with it, where thus far it's either they kill lefties or they do nothing against them. Either they're putting 6 runs up on the board or they're putting 1 run up on the board. So I don't want to have to deal with that. They already saw Sanchez. Now he's going to be a great American. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I went with the Phillies first 5 team total over 2.5. I am not an Andrew Abbott guy at all. I don't think he's very good. The 2.7 ERA, the 107 whip, that sounds nice. Very cool. That great stuff he has, well, it's falling apart because his K rate is dramatically decreased. His xFIP is at 5, and his increased barrel percentage suggests that he's been quite lucky thus far and that regression is coming. He faced off against the Phillies in his 2024 debut at Philly, and he had a solid outing. He allowed 2 runs over 5.1 innings, but he caught the Phillies when they were still napping. The first 17 starters to face the Phillies had a 3.02 ERA and a 1.13 whip. The last 6 starters to face the Phillies have a 9.53 ERA and a 1.87 whip. And let's look at those other 3 starts for Andrew Abbott. His lone home start against the Mets, the only good offense against lefties he's faced thus far, was bad. 5 innings, 9 base runners, 3 runs. Then he faced the White Sox, the worst lineup in the MLB. He shut them down. Congratulations. Then he faced the Mariners in a day start. What do I say about the Mariners? They're night crawlers. They don't know how to hit in the day. He allowed 2 home runs through 6 innings, 2 runs. That was a day game. The Phils are in their best form yet, and they already sit 9th in WRC plus and 4th in OBP against lefties. Going back to last year, every time that Abbott allowed 3+ runs, he did so through the first 5 innings, and his earned runs line is at 2.5, juiced to -140. Our friends at ballparkpal.com, they're projecting a 26% increase in home run boost here, which is very nice considering Abbott likes to allow hard hits at a high rate. I just think that the second time around, the Phillies are really going to get to Abbott here. They've now cashed this line in 5 straight games. I think they're going to start off hot yet again here, even without Harper. He's a lefty, so against another lefty that doesn't really scare me as much, not having him in the lineup, let's go Phils.
I don't like it. I would lean Reds here. I won't bet it because I respect you guys, but I think you're getting
Trust your gut, Kyle.
Trust my gut.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust your gut.
Yeah.
The Rays were awesome last night.
Okay, I lost the bet.
No, I'm just saying, you went with your gut last night. It was awesome. They were good.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Dodgers, Nats. Prop Beaver, would you like to hit the viewers with some knowledge?
Yeah, I went with the Nats first 5 team total over here. I played it 2 ways. I did the first 5 over 1.5 at -135. And I also did over 2.5 at +145. I feel the same way about Paxton that I do Abbott. This guy has been flirting with a horrible outing all season long, and I think it's going to come today. The dude has 0 command, and I think the Nats are more than capable of putting a couple runs up on the board early. To begin the year, the Nats were struggling against lefties. The first 3 to face them, they had a 2.55 ERA, 102 WHIP. But if you look at the last 4 to face them, that skyrockets to a 6.62 ERA, 1.7 WHIP, and they cashed the line in all 4 of those games. Paxton may have a 2.81 ERA and a 1.85 opposing batting average through 3 starts. That's encouraging. But he's walking guys at a 20% rate. He's got a 1.5 WHIP, a 6.03 xFIP, and a 52% hard hit rate. That tells me he's getting extremely lucky thus far. For him to have allowed just 3+ runs once in a contest feels like a miracle, and I feel like the floodgates are about to open here, especially on the road where he's been much more vulnerable over his last 6 seasons, allowing 1 more run per game. Paxton has allowed 2+ runs through the first 5 in 10 of 14 road starts and 3+ runs through the first 5 in 7 of 14 road starts going back to 2020. Our friends at Ballpark Pal are projecting the Nats for 3 runs through the first 5 here. I feel like the Bucks keep sleeping on these Nats bats, but they're waking up. CJ Abrams is hot. The boys are heating up. I'm gonna back the Nats here. Everybody's on the Dodgers because it's Corbin Day, but I feel like it's the Nats bats who are firing early.
I love it. I love everything about what you just said. I think it's great analysis, and you're seeing the board clearly.
Thank you.
Modai?
That sounded sarcastic. I took Patrick Corbin over 3.5 earned runs allowed. Just hope that we don't get screwed with like an under run or something. I knew I wanted to fade Patrick Corbin for obvious reasons because it's Patrick Corbin, but the strikeouts I didn't think was a good play. And I also, even no matter how badly he gets hit up, the Nats are going to throw him out there and he's going to get his outs. So I just went with 4+ earned runs, which he's allowed literally every single game he's pitched this year, including 5 to the Dodgers in his last start, 7 to the Giants in his start prior to that. The Dodgers haven't been phenomenal against left-handed hitting, but I thought this was, -110, I thought this would be juiced to a lot higher. So I just thought the value on this one was pretty good.
Toast, want to talk some sense into him?
Dude, I'm playing Dodgers -1.5. I'm not even worried about it.
Toast is the squarest dude on the planet today.
Yeah, and I'm not even worried about it in any way, shape, or form.
You're
so
not?
if you want to go ahead and put a Nats graphic up on your name, go ahead. If not, just let me do my turn. So,
oh man, these baseball shows get spicy. I'm not sure I'm prepared for it. Yeah.
See, even my son's all pissed off at you.
He's trying to talk some sense in you to tell you to
no,
back
he's
Corbin.
not. He's trying to say he's Uncle Kyle. He's like, what are we talking about? I mean, if you want to take the Nats team total, that's fine. But the Nats, our Patrick Corbin has been absolutely destroyed by the Dodgers in every time that he's ever faced them. Not to mention the fact that I was looking to play the Dodgers. It honestly didn't matter if it was Patrick Corbin Day or not. The fact that they just had a very terrible homestand, and now we're getting them their first game on the road. This is a spot I like to back any Major League Baseball team, especially the Dodgers. Dodgers. And not to mention, I love the Nationals. I've been cashing a lot with the Nationals and CJ Abrams. Couple things that bother me. One, they've played their last 4 series against Oakland, San Francisco, Houston, and the Dodgers. The only team that's good in those series is the Dodgers. And 2, I love me some CJ Abrams, but his hits, runs, and RBIs is at 1.5 right now. And I understand that over his career, he's been worse against left-handed pitching, but he's been crushing it this far. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. I understand that LA Dodgers are square as hell, but I think they win this game easily.
Toast, do you want to tell the viewers what happened last time I said to back Corbin? It was against the Reds, I believe.
I don't know. Go ahead and tell him. It's your show.
It won. I'm 1-0 back in Corbin. I'm the Corbin Whisperer.
Do you want to tell the viewers that I'm up like 17 units this year? I ain't worried about it.
Not fading Corbin, you're not. Nats money line.
So what's your Mets? You got Mets money line? Is that what you picked?
Yeah, Nats money line.
Cool.
It's Corbin spot. You got to know when to pick your spots with Pat. And this is a spot. Dodgers haven't been hitting left-handed pitching. Everyone's flooding in on them anyway. Corbin at home. He's going to get the job done. Base runners is not an issue for Pat. He'll pitch his way out of it. I believe in Corbin.
Okay. All right.
He goes, okay.
Alrighty.
All right, next game. All right.
I sure you don't want 1.5, 2.5,
Nope.
3.5?
Just a
One
money
of the
line.
comments said he means Corbin Carroll. That made me laugh.
All right. Prop Beaver? Look, I'm a big enough man to admit when I was wrong. And Toast and Prop Beaver both tried to talk sense into me yesterday. I dismissed them. I treated them poorly on the show. And I apologize for that. You guys were right. I was wrong. And, in fact, you guys actually saved me a few dollars because I posted 3 bets last night. And the Rays one, I actually docked it down from 1 unit to 0.75. So you guys saved me $50. Because I was I took what you said into consideration.
That's in the past now. We moved on to today. What do we got?
Pepe Le Pew is on the mound, Prop Beaver.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Everybody
is.
in the world. I think even my grandmother's on Ray's first 5 run line today. I'm pretty sure she is. I'm pretty sure she opened up an account just to bet
Toast,
that.
I've been meaning to tell you your grandmother has a problem, and you might want to get... Anyway. All right, Prop Beaver, you like Pepe?
Tigers money line.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm backing Kenta Maeda. I like Pepe Le Pew. On what planet are the Rays laying minus 160 right now to anybody? I know Maeda's off to a brutal start this season. 7.64 ERA, 3.6 home runs per 9. My lordy. But I think this is a sneaky buy low spot against the Rays that remains overvalued. And I'm going to bring it back to my beloved splits. Why? Because I'll say it for the 50th time. Maeda cannot pitch during the day. He's afraid of the goddamn sun. Since 2020, this guy allows 2 more runs per 9 during the day. His WOBA is 100 points higher. His K to BB percentage is 10% lower, and his WHIP is 40% higher all in the day. At night, 3.15 ERA, 2.55 WOBA, 25 K to BB percentage, 0.94 WHIP. I mean, who is this? Cy Young himself? That is a great pitcher right there. All 4 of Maeda's starts thus far have come in the day, so no wonder his numbers look like soupy shit. The guy finally gets the pitch at night, and he faces a Rays lineup that can't hit righties to save their life right now. Versus righties through the first 5, the Rays are 25th in WRC+, 29th in ISO, 26th in OBP, 30th in K percentage, 26th in BB percentage. They can't do anything right. The last 5 righties to face the Rays have combined for a 1.59 ERA and a 1.06 WHIP. That was Luis Gill, Clark Schmidt, Griffin Canning, Soriano, I don't even know his first name. That's how bad he is. And Webb. That's pretty concerning right there. Cannon came into his start against the Rays with similarly awful peripherals and dealt. I think Maeda does the same. On the other side, we got Le Pew. It's hard to make a case against him. I like him. But to be fair, he has been flip-flopping. He allowed 6 runs in the first start to Texas, then 0. Then he allowed 4 to a really bad Giants offense, and then 1 run last start. So following that pattern, he'd be allowing some runs here. And the Tigers lineup is surging right now. The last 5 righties to face the Tigers have a 7.98 ERA, 1.61 WHIP. The last 7 days, they're 9th in WRC+, 9th in ISO against righties. If Maeda can keep it competitive like I think he will, we're going to have a massive edge in the late innings. We're first in ERA, first in WOBA. Meanwhile, Tampa's 27th in ERA and 29th in WOBA. I see a lot of heads rushing to fade Maeda today. I'm going to play a contrarian here. and I'm gonna keep fading Tampa until they give me a reason not to. Tiger up.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but judging by the comments coming in, it seems people are buying in on your weird ass day-night splits.
They should, dude. What?
Oh, stop it! Day-night
Dude,
splits.
the Mariners, by the way.
Regardless
The
on how you
Mariners-
feel about those splits, regardless, like explain to me what world we're living in that the Rays are a heavy public side laying heavy.
No,
juice
I
and
actually
anything
like
from,
everything else he said. The day-night splits have me a little bit like.
Like I don't
It's a
understand.
4-year sample size.
Yeah, but what logic is behind, like is the dude really scared of the sunlight? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Clearly.
So you're on the Tigers too.
I will give you a little bit of that, Kyle. I agree with that just to a point. I don't put too much into day-night splits, but as far as this game is concerned, there is no reason to back the Rays. Like if they go crazy off, that's fine, so be it. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's Detroit for me. Yeah, there's just absolutely no way in hell I bet the Rays. I think that Randy Rosarina might get a hit and a run in RBI tonight because his runs and RBIs are minus 125, and it's been really weird. And that's one thing that I've been kind of paying attention to. But yeah, as Beaver just talked about, the Tigers have scored 4 runs or more in 8 of their last 10 games. So, I mean, their offense is going really good. Kerry Carpenter's on a roll right now. And Tampa Bay just can't get out of their own way. So they're not playing good defensively. They don't have any bats to go with it. And let's not forget that Tampa Bay bullpen is the worst in Major League Baseball by far. So, yeah, it's the Tigers for me.
All right, Modi.
I'm not betting the Rays, but I do have everybody's favorite pitcher, Pepe Le Pew, over 6.5 strikeouts. The every other day thing is concerning, but like his strikeout rate is really good. He's got a strikeout rate of 30.7%. That's good for 7th best in the entire MLB. He's cashed this in 2 of 4 games this year. The one game that he missed, one of the games, that he missed was against the Giants. We struck out 6, but they don't strike out a lot. They have like the 7th lowest strikeout rate, just below 20%. Tigers strike out a ton, strike out over 25% of the time against right-handed pitching. According to Fangraphs, that's considered poor is how they label it. That's below average. And then their team strikeout rate is 25.7%, 7th worst in the MLB. And as I mentioned, like Pepe Le Pew, electric strikeout rate, 30.7%. He's at least pitching 85 to 94 pitches. So he's not getting pulled super early. Granted, you like to see him at least get into like the 100 number. But I think that against the lineup that's been striking out a lot, he should be able to get to 7.
Someone just asked about the day-night splits. You can find ESPN has it, Fangraphs, pretty much any site that offers MLB stats will have day-night splits. They're pretty. Just do a Google. Trust me, you'll find them. They're not hard to find. I mean, us normal people don't look at them, but Prop Beaver loves them.
You could keep not looking at them. They'll keep cashing for me. I mean, they've been awesome to me thus far.
No, I mean, I was making jokes, but I am going to take what you said into consideration and go here though. Under. I can get on board with everything. I still don't have a ton of faith in the Tigers bats, especially against right-handed pitching. Pepe Le Pew's been pitching well. And this price is where it's at for a reason. So I look, I'm not taking the Rays. People are saying Calling Our Shot loves the Rays tonight, by the way. Also,
Calling Our Shot, Peter Epple, every big talking name in MLB Twitter gambling is on Rays' first 5-run line.
Wow. So Rays first 5 line, a lot of people like, and there's a reason for that. Pepe's been dealing at home in the truck.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he
The
can't.
Saints been dealing is crazy.
He just cashed for me.
He had 2 horrible starts this year. How could you say he's been dealing when 2 of his starts are horrible and 2 of his starts were good?
Well, because
He's been okay.
Weren't the last 2 starts the good one?
No,
he had one really good start on the road.
In Coors Field. His last start was awesome.
Against the Rockies, who
all right, let's move on to the
shit.
next game.
The Angels haven't scored a run in 7 days. Have they? So, I mean, yeah, they did a good job pitching well against the Angels. Awesome.
Pepe's going to deal.
Nope.
Angels.
Tiger.
1-1.
Tiger.
All right.
Raga.
Toast, true or false? You believe the Yankees will bounce back tonight?
False.
Wow. Okay. Does that mean you're on Oakland?
Yeah, Oakland first 5 for me.
First 5?
Yeah. Just since Mason Miller went yesterday, I'm not in love with that Oakland bullpen at all. But since he did go yesterday and Eckrig went 26 yesterday, I don't really think there's an advantage late in the ball game. Not that the Yankees bullpen scares me too much, but I do think Paul Blackburn, who has a pretty decent history against the Yankees in his career since 2021, 15 innings, only 4 runs, 14 hits. I'll take that. Not to mention the fact that I'm not really in love with Marcus Stroman in any way, shape, or form. I know that he's pitched really well to start the year. I actually think that the Toronto game in the 5 1/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, he actually pitched pretty well in that game. In the Miami game, it is what it is. But I just feel like this Yankees offense is absolutely dead right now. Beaver shared in our group chat. Codify put out like a thing that showed the Yankees scoring runs per inning in the last 5 or 6 games in this homestand, or 4 games, I'm sorry, and it's just been really, really bad. So they've had 3 or 4 good, really huge innings, 4 or 5 runs, and then the rest is all zeros. So we saw the same thing yesterday, and I think that Blackburn can shut this team down for at least 5 innings. And the Oakland Bats, if there's one thing, I'm not really in love with the Oakland Bats, but there is something a little bit about Yankee Stadium. So I think they're going to be up and ready for this one. So if you're going to give me a huge plus price against the Yankees team that's literally not scoring at all right now, I'll take my chances at plus 170 or whatever it is.
All right. Modai, you got anything for this one? Oh,
Yeah,
YouCapper said he wants in the Discord. I'll send you a link and get you in there. Anyway, go ahead, Modai.
Another strikeout prop here. I have Stroman over 5.5 strikeouts plus 110 odds. As bad as the Tigers have been at striking out that I just talked about, nobody in the last 2 weeks is as bad as the Athletics. They've literally struck out more than any other team against right-handed pitching in the last 14 days. Team strikeout rate of 29.4%. That's considered awful. That's the worst grading that Fangraphs will give. Nobody's going to confuse Marcus Stroman as Spencer Strider. Of course, he's not like an elite electric strikeout guy by any means, but he's hit the number in 2 of his 4 starts. One of the games that he missed was against the Blue Jays, but they don't strike out a lot. But the first time he went against them, he had 6 strikeouts. We did go over. And then again, they're one of the lower strikeout teams in the NBA. MLB. Sorry, still have NBA on my mind. Not going to sit here and say that he's got electric stuff or anything like that. But for 6 strikeouts and for the price of plus 110, I thought that was pretty good. So that's where I went.
All right. Prop Beaver?
Yeah, I mean, it's first 5 under, 4.5 or pass for me. I mean, as Toast was alluding to, the Yankees bats stink right now. They're 26th in WRC plus overall over the last week. Sure, they were able to hit up Savali, but you take out the Savali start, and then the previous 4 righties to face them, 1.23 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. The last 7 starters to face them overall, even with that horrible Savali start, 1.88 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. A's offense has barely seen Stroman, and they've just completely died down. Last 8 to face him, 1.97 ERA, 0.92 WHIP. Last 14 days against righties, they're 25th in WRC plus, 29th in OBP, 30th in K percentage. What I like is that Stroman, through 4 starts, he has a 3.2 barrel percentage and a 27.4 hard hit percentage. The only thing the A's have had going for him during this cold streak against righties is they're hitting solo home runs. Yeah. So Stroman's ability to limit power to this point is encouraging. So if he can limit those solo home runs, I don't really know what the hell the A's are going to do here, because they can't really get on base right now. So yeah. So as long as Paul Blackburn doesn't implode, I think there's good value on the first 5 under here. The thing that scares me is that his outs under is at 15.5, juiced heavily under, but his earned runs line is at 2.5 with even vig on either side. So I don't really get that.
Oakland's team total is at 3 at even money. You get a team total under 3 at minus 110. So odds makers don't expect Oakland to score many runs in this game. I'm not paying minus 218 to bet the Yankees, though, when they haven't been scoring runs, so it'll be a pass for me. Next game. Marlins Braves. We got Trevor Rogers pitching against Max. 258, over 8.5, under 8.5. Prop Beaver, what are your thoughts on the Marlins against lefties here? We got Fried on the mound.
My thoughts is that my read on this game must be off, because I like the over quite a bit. It was at 9 last night. Most of the action's on it. It moved to 8.5, and it appears it's on its way to 8. So I don't know what I'm missing here. I don't trust Fried right now, and the Marlins bats are switching their splits up before our eyes. They're stinking it up against righties, and they've hit 3 lefties in a row now. I know Trevor Rogers has made some changes to his mechanics and his arsenal that have yielded some promising results, but the guy's last 10 road starts, he's got a 6.75 ERA, 1.66 WHIP. I just don't really get it. On top of that, the Braves should be able to go ballistic on the low leverage Marlins arms. For it to move down, I think it's pretty strange. A gun to my head, I'd go Marlins first 5 team total over 1.5 plus 100, but that's about it. I don't really care for this game. Pass.
Gun to your head.
I don't even have a graphic for it. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Modi?
Yeah, I do have the over here, over 8.5 at plus 100. I didn't know the line movement of it going down, which is concerning, but it's really just like fading Max Fried. He's terrible. The Marlins offense isn't as bad as they were at the beginning of the year, especially as you said, against lefties. And I'll take my chances that like with the Braves bats that are going to be able to do well, even with a good pitcher on the Marlins, and that Fried's going to get dinged up. Like he's got a 7.71 ERA, 4.85 expected ERA, 5.14 FIP, 4.38 expected FIP. Like, yeah, maybe he's gotten a little bit unlucky, but still not showing anything good. And the Braves offense is still mashing lefties, even though, like I said, I like the pitcher. I think that he's a good one. I took the over.
Damn, is there any good games on the board? Every single one. I'm like, usually when these guys are talking.
It's not a very good slate.
And usually when these guys are talking, I'm like, ooh, I like that one. I like that. Like, I'm struggling to find bets to put on my ticket here. Toast, what do you like?
I'm on the over. I don't care about the line movement in any way, shape, or form. First and foremost, when these teams play, there's runs. 8 of the last 10 games these guys have played have went over 8.5 or 9. I don't trust Max Fried in any way, shape, or form. Trevor Rogers has looked good his last couple starts, but the Braves did just see him. Not to mention the fact that Braves games usually in the division tend to go over in Atlanta. Is the line movement scary? But I don't really care. These teams left a lot of runners on base last night. I think they cash in here tonight. So I'm on the over. I don't really care about the line movement.
Yeah, this is a pass for me. This sucks. Because I want to bet the Marlins, but no.
Oh, and by the way, the Braves top 3 of their top 2, let's see. Yeah, 2 of their top 2 arms aren't going to go in the bullpen either. So, and the Marlins bullpen sucks. So.
And the Marlins bullpen sucks. All right, White Sox Twins, another really great one. Jesus.
Yo.
Yay.
Yo. I like this game.
I actually do have a pick for this game that I do like too.
Really?
I think it's sharp.
Yeah, I did just the same as pick as yesterday for me.
All right. Well, Modi, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that my pick is sharp, but I have Pablo Lopez over 7.5 strikeouts. This one is definitely going to be a little bit scary because it's a number that he has yet to clear this year. But in 3 of his 4 starts, he had exactly 7 strikeouts. So he's getting close. He just hasn't been able to get that 8th one. I see no better opportunity than to do that against the White Sox, who not only do they have the 4th highest strikeout rate in the MLB over the last 2 weeks, team strikeout rate of 26%. They might be the worst team I've ever seen in my entire life. They're god awful. If you look at their advanced stats against right-handed pitching, they are the worst in basically every single metric you could possibly look at. Worst WRC plus, worst WOBA, worst WRAA, worst ISO rate, worst OPS. It's just across the board. And even though, like I said, he hasn't gotten to the 8 number, his strikeout stuff isn't as good as it was last year, where he had a strikeout rate of 29%, but it's not terrible. It's at 25%. So I think this is the perfect opportunity. And I feel like people are going to see that he hasn't hit it yet this year, and they're going to want to bet the opposite of that, where I feel like this is a good opportunity for him to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see where the runs are coming from in this game with Pablo Lopez on the mound and Fedde on the mound for the White Sox with the Twins lineup. This game might be 1-0. Which leads me to believe, hey, why not the White Sox plus 1.5? But then I'm like, wait, it's the White Sox plus 1.5. So, Toast, you said you have something?
Yep, same as yesterday. Twins minus 1.5 for me, minus 130. I like it even more than I did yesterday because now I have an even more rested Twins bullpen behind me. I think Max Kepler goes yard today. I think that this Twins team is better than they have shown. Buxton's back in the lineup today. And I'm going to continue to fade this White Sox team until I can't anymore. So, yeah, Twins minus 1.5 for me.
Continue to fade this White Sox team until he can't anymore. All right, Prop Beaver, what's yours?
Yeah, I'm living by the same rules. Fade the White Sox until they give me a reason not to. On the surface, this doesn't appear to have the most value, but I'm going with Lopez over 18.5 outs. He's under 3 or 4 starts this season. He's under 48 of 70 starts headed back to 2022. So why are we playing it here? Well, just look at how the books are pricing Lopez here. His earned runs line is at 1.5 juiced minus 140 for the under, which is insane. You rarely see that. With 2 or less ERA, he's over his last 10 of 15 home starts, averaging 20.1 outs. So that's a good start right there. On top of that, Lopez's walks line is 1.5 juiced minus 150 for the under. With 1 or less walks and 2 or less earned runs allowed, he's over his last 8 to 9 home games, averaging 21.6 outs. Righty starters against the White Sox lately have been giving their bullpens plenty of rest. We've recently seen Paddock with 21 outs, Nola with 24, Wheeler with 22, Turnbull with 21, Waka with 18, Lugo with 21. All trounced their outlines versus the White Sox in just their last 7 games. Lopez went over 2 or 3 starts against them last year, and he's going to face an even worse version of them here. I'm just going to take my chances that he goes deep into this one. I think that every team facing the White Sox kind of looks at this as an opportunity to give their bullpen a rest, let that starter go out there and eat up innings, because, I mean, why on earth would you have your bullpen work against this team? There's no purpose. Just have your starter go. This
Right.
lineup is awful.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put the same graphic as Toast up for me. I wish I
If you don't want to lay the juice and you trust Prop Beaver, you could probably go Pablo Lopez to record a win. I'm looking it up right now, but you're going to get better odds on that, because I do think this is a nice spot for Pablo Lopez to step in front of his home fans and shove. I mean, he only has 1 win on the season this year, and that was on the road against the Royals. So this is a perfect spot for him in front of the home fans to shove, go 7-8 innings, get a nice home ovation, the whole 9.
Yeah,
That's a minus 140.
to record a win. Oh
Exactly.
My God,
They're
White
really
Sox.
telling me that he
I'll
knows
take
the
my
deals
minus
here.
130 on my run and a half.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
that's terrible. The odds makers, like, what do they have? His outs line at 21.5? What the hell?
They have it at 18.5. I just
No,
played
I
the
know,
over.
but I'm saying, like, that's such a tell that they expect this dude to go crazy far into the game.
Yep.
All right, Blue Jays Royals. Prop Beaver, have you learned your lesson that Gausman's the man?
Oh my God.
I didn't bet the game last week, so I didn't lose
Yes, you
money
did.
fading Gausman. No, I didn't. You don't have to tell me what I did and didn't bet. I definitely did
Andy,
not
pull
bet
the tape.
Blue Jays Yankees game. You don't have to pull the tape. You don't have to do the State Farm.
I just want to say,
fucking
I'll say it.
replay.
I bet against Gausman, and I fucking won. The Yankees won that game 6-4. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did too.
Is he at home? No, he's not at home
So
here.
pick the Royals.
So I have no clue how to read him. No, if anything, I would back him because he's on the road.
Oh, so
I don't know how to.
you like him then?
No, I have no clue how to read this game. I'm just gonna pass here. Yeah, Gausman looked good, but that was against the Yankees, who A, he always owns, and B, the Yankees look like utter dog shit right now. I'm not gonna forget the fact that his 2 previous games, his arm was falling off, and he looked like complete and utter shit. So, yeah, I'm not really in love with that. On top of that, the Blue Jays bats are kind of hitting a bit. So, yeah, just a pass for me. Really don't like this game at all whatsoever.
Modi?
yeah.
I am, in fact, fading Kevin Gausman. I have under 5.5 strikeouts. I love Kevin Gausman. Fun fact, I've actually met him before. We stayed at the same hotel when he was in New Orleans for a wedding. So that was really cool. But he had a good start last game against the Yankees. That's the farthest he's gone in a game. He went 5 innings, and it took him 101 pitches to get through 5 innings. And last year, he was one of my favorite strikeout pitchers to bet. This year has not been the case. His strikeout stuff is down as 23. His strikeout rate is down to 23.2%, which is the lowest it's been for him specifically since 2008 when he was still on the Orioles. He's allowing a barrel of 14.9%. That's terrible. Hard hit percentage of 44.7%. That's terrible. And the Royals don't strike out that often. 5th lowest strikeout rate in the MLB the last 14 days. Only 2 right-handed pitchers have gone over their strikeout prop against the Royals over the last 2 weeks as well. So I'll take the under 5.5 for even money.
Okay.
Kyle, pull up the Royals Blue Jays bullpen for the people, please.
All right, Toast wants the Blue Jays bullpen displayed for the people. I have those kind of capabilities.
I know, that's why I said it like that. I know you're fast at that. It's Royals or pass for me. I'm not going to bet this because this Royals team, I just can't seem to get this Royals team right. It feels like, personally. So I thought it was a really good spot yesterday for them. And I misread that game, and they were never even in the game. I do trust Michael Wacha a lot, especially over the last few years. I mean, he's been nothing but consistent. He's had one bad start this year against the Mets, but also that start on the road against Baltimore, he gave up 3 runs, but his one start at home was against the White Sox. So I'm not really at a point where I can say I trust him this year because I do worry about some arm fatigue with him. Kevin Gausman is an absolute coin flip. I don't know what to expect. He was touching, I think, 98. Kamish told us in the group chat his last start against the Yankees, but prior to that, like Beaver talked about, it looked like his arm was about to fall off. So he has really good history. So I lean the Royals just because of how bad that Toronto bullpen is in shape. And the Royals have everybody ready to good to go. But this Royals offense, like I said, I just can't seem to get them right. So it's Royals or pass for me, but I couldn't bet it.
I think you got it right. I kind of like the Royals here too, man.
You can have it.
What worries me is because we're looking at that. I'll pull it up again. We're looking at this Jays bullpen, right? And we're like, oh, Toronto's missing their arms here. They played most of the season with no Romano and no Swanson. Those 2 guys just returned from injury. Yes, that's their 2 best bullpen arms, but so the bullpen that the Toronto's going to have available tonight is kind of the bullpen they've had.
Right, but they also had Chad Green back then too, and now Chad Green's on the list.
And there's no Garcia.
So yeah, so
I'm
just saying.
I'll bet Royals. I'm down to bet Royals. Okay. Our community likes the Royals too, pretty heavily. 53%, 33% on Kansas City.
But I truly believe that like Beaver's correct when saying like the Toronto bats are starting to come into their own. Like Dalton Varsho is really, really hitting the ball really well right now. I mean, if they get anything out of Vlad and Bo and stuff, they're starting to heat up. So I get it.
All right. Astros Cubs in Wrigley.
I'll go first.
You like JP France?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm on the Cubs. I bet the Cubs last night sent it out. Is it still plus 100? What is it at now?
Minus 103.
Okay, yeah, same difference. I'm on the Cubs here today. I honestly think that Houston is really bad baseball team right now. I understand what their names on the back of their jersey. I've made a lot of money over the last 5 years betting on this team, but in no way, shape, or form should they be a pick 'em against this Cubs team. I'm not a big Jordan Wicks guy, and I understand the Astros on the road versus a left-handed pitcher is a spot you got to back him in. But from what I've seen from them lately, they're just not a team that I can trust in any way, shape, or form. JP France is kind of you never know what you're going to get with him. I think that he's better than what he has shown, but he's also faced the Yankees, Texas twice, and Atlanta once, and he's fared pretty well. But I just think that this Cubs team is different in Wrigley, and if you're going to give me a plus money with them, I'm going to take it. Not to mention the fact that Houston had the day off yesterday, so all their bullpen arms are going to be ready to go. They were used a lot over the weekend, and on top of that, Hader, Presley, Abreu, it's like they don't know their rules because they're blowing games at an insane rate right now. So at no point do I trust the bullpen for the Astros in any way, shape, or form. So if you're going to give me the home team at plus money or damn near even money, I'm going to take it against the Astros. I think that we're just getting a complete discount.
Yeah, I love what you said, and I'm tailing. I'm with you on the Cubs. Here we go. Now I'm starting to get a ticket together here. We were like 10 games in, and I have a blank sheet in front of me. All right. Got a couple teams on there. I'm down the tail. Prop Beaver, are you with us on the Cubbies?
No. I think if anything, I'd have to go with the Houston first 5 money line or probably Jordan Wicks under 14.5 outs here. I just don't really love what I've seen from the Cubs against righties lately. I mean, this team is just not producing. 2.33 ERA, 0.97 WHIP against the last 8 righties they've seen. I know the France has been pretty rough this season, but most of that damage has come against the Texas Rangers. When you saw the Braves, he was actually pretty decent against them. I know he got murked against the Cubs last season, but this time around, the Cubs are slumping right now. I could see him at least holding them to 2 or 3 here, and Jordan Wicks has yet to make it through 5 innings as a starter this season. He's been pretty damn bad. The Astros, they got shut out by Mitchell Parker, but the previous 5 lefties to see him. 7.06 ERA, 2.22 WHIP. This is still an offense. It's third in WRC plus, fifth in OBP, fourth in K percentage this season. So yeah, I think that the value is on Houston early, and that the Houston pen will blow it late as they always do. But that's my thought process with this one.
Yeah, and to Beaver's point, the bats have been fine, but their last last 10 games, Houston Astros are still 3-7 their last 10 games. So regardless of what their bats are doing, their bullpen is not helping them out in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Modi?
Yeah, got my first dong play of the day. I have three that I did for Dinger Tuesday. I've been playing the home runs significantly lighter, with home runs being as down across the board as they are. But I do think that this is a good spot for Kyle Tucker. Granted, like admittedly, the three that I have are pretty chalky, with him being at plus 340. But the wind is blowing like 14 miles per hour out to right field. It's a perfect home run spot for lefties. Yordan Alvarez is a good play too, but his is at plus 250. And I like the spot for Kyle Tucker. He's looked good recently. 3 home runs in his last 2 weeks. Granted, 2 of them, I believe, came in the same day. But ISO rate of 29.5%. That's 17th best in the MLB. So still one of obviously the top 20 hitters. Barrel rate of 19.4%. That's really good. 8th best in the MLB. And what's good about this game specifically, it's a fly ball ratio of 58.3%. Like the best home run hitters in the MLB have a fly ball ratio of basically 50% and above. And in this case, like if he just gets the ball in the air with a little bit of power, the wind is going to blow that out. And someone asked about, is it going to get rained out? The website I looked at said that it might start late, but that the rain will be gone by the time most of this game will be played. So I'm not worried about this one getting rained out. So there's a lot of good home run options in this one. I went with Tucker, but like I said, Yordan's a good one. But yeah, let's hope we can have a good home run day for basically the first time this year.
Kyle Tucker down home run. Toast, did you see this comment here? This guy gets it.
No, I didn't see any.
He
comments.
said Toast might not he said Toast might have more units than Kyle right now, but he definitely doesn't have more stones than Kyle. Kyle isn't scared of betting the full game money lines like Toast is.
Yeah.
This guy who gets
stones. it. Mr. plus 1.5, and I don't have stones. Okay. Okay.
That's a guy who gets it. So he's seeing it right. That's a guy who's probably seeing the board clearly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Next up, Arizona.
Killing the game.
Arizona on the road in Busch Stadium here. Cards, right, Prop Beaver?
Die.
Cards,
Team
cards.
sucks.
Oh, my God. It's me every time.
Team's ass.
Oh, man. Hey, they won last night.
For those of you that weren't watching that episode, Prop Beaver, everyone was betting the Brewers. Everyone was betting the Brewers. Prop Beaver said, my sharp senses are tingling. Cards. They lost 1-0.
It was in extras. Like it was disgraceful.
But it was
I was
bullshit.
on the Brewers. I was embarrassed to say that I had that winner.
So what do you think, Prop Beaver? Tommy Henry on the mound. Cards.
Cards. Yes. No, what I'm looking at here is I don't even know if the guy's gonna play tonight. I'm looking at a Nolan Gorman over bases tonight. Yes.
Riding a hot streak,
weird.
huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride.
Oh, yes, he is in the lineup. He's batting 7th.
Do I have a graphic?
Fuck yes. All right. No, I do not have a graphic because I didn't even know if he was in the lineup, so I didn't even text Andy about it. Okay, so Nolan Gorman over 1.5 bases here. I want to see what the juice is, but I'm hoping we're gonna get some really good odds here. Tommy Henry, famously a lefty with reverse splits, and his worst spot is on the road against lefties in his career. He's got a 462 WOBA, 557 slug, 4 home runs per 9, and a 929 FIP in those spots. That is god awful. And Gorman is a lefty who actually has some reverse splits himself. Going back to last year, he's got a 121 WRC plus, 222 ISO, and an 801 OPS against lefties. Filter that to at home, and that jumps to a 143 WRC plus, 277 ISO, and an 889 OPS. So I think this is a nice spot for him. And I think that pinch hit home run last night is exactly what Gorman needed to build some momentum. What I saw and what was pointed out to me on social media was there was a notable change in his swing. So he was going from a massive leg kick to more of a toe tap with the right leg. And what happened immediately? Boom. A beautiful home run. When Gorman is hot, this is a guy you want to back. When he's on fire, when he's on fire, he is on fire. And when he's cold, he's ice cold. I'm willing to bet that this is the start of good things for him. We're probably going to get like a ridiculous price on him. like probably plus 200. So that would be my play for him. I'm going to see what the odds are right now.
Toast, am I crazy for wanting to bet the Snakes here?
No, you pull up the Cardinals bullpen, you'll be even more happy.
That's what I was just looking at, is the Cardinals bullpen, but the price is like, this feels like it should be at a pick'em. So why would the Cardinals be laying minus 135 here?
Honestly, I think it's just because that Matz has
been better than Henry.
Yeah,
but
he's been actually really good. He had one bad start in Oakland for whatever reason, and he has decent numbers against this Arizona team. I mean, he faced them earlier in the year and he didn't look well, but last year he faced them, he blanked them in 6 innings. So a little bit of flip flop there. I didn't bet this game. It would be, I wanted to bet the Cardinals. I think the best way to play this is playing Cardinals a couple Cardinals props. Like I like Brendan Donovan's hits, runs, and RBIs is at minus 145. Nolan Gorman, Beaver really like. So I would just find one of those. I mean, as far as a side, I don't know. I can't bet the Cardinals with that bullpen the way that it is.
I'll say one thing. Steven Matz, what is it? The first 5 team total for the D-backs is at 1.5 at juice to minus 150 for the over. That should definitely be at 2.5 at minus 115. That is very weird. They just got 4 runs off the dude. They've been scoring 3 to 4 runs pretty much against every lefty they faced this season. Why is that at 1.5?
Yeah, matter of fact, now that Beaver says that with the bullpen, I would do Cardinals first 5 or pass.
Cardinals first 5?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are not seeing it like I am.
The first 5 team total over for the Cardinals is at like 2.5 juiced over, which makes no sense because they've been shit lately. So the books are telling me that they like the Cardinals.
Oh, they're telling you that?
Well,
they called me earlier and they told me.
Brendan Donovan's hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 145. I mean, Mason Wynn, who is the 6th hole hitters at minus 125. I mean, the books think these guys are going to get runs. Paul Goldschmidt, who's been terrible, hits, runs, and RBIs at 2.5.
It's Goldschmidt against a lefty, though.
Who cares? He's been terrible. He can't even walk to the plate half the time. Beaver, am I wrong?
No, you're right. I mean, trust me, you know my thoughts about Paul.
I want to bet the Snakes here. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't hate it. I'm just saying I'm not trying to make a case that I'm in love with this Cardinals offense in any way, shape, or form. I want to make that very clear.
He's not in love with the Cardinals offense. Stop accusing him of it.
Stop it.
Modi?
Yeah, under Steven Matz, 4.5 strikeouts. It's juiced at minus 140. It's juicier than I normally play in terms of the minus odds, but I felt like going from 3.5 to 4.5 I thought was a big deal, which is why I decided to eat the juice. Unlike the Pablo Lopez one, this is not a number that he's cleared all year and not a situation where I want to fade that. Not only is his strikeout stuff like one of the worst in the MLB, it's a strikeout rate of 13.8%. That's the 4th lowest of all qualified starting pitchers. But the Diamondbacks also don't strike out a lot against left-handed pitching either. Over the last 2 weeks, team strikeout rate of 16.7%. That's the 4th lowest in the MLB, and they have pretty good advanced stats against left-handed pitching as well. So for minus 140, it's a little bit higher odds than I normally like to play, but I'd rather do that than the under 3.5 for plus money.
Yeah. So I'd also, in going off what Modi said, Matt's pitch mix. What does he throw, Prop Beaver? He's a lefty that throws a sinker.
Mm-hmm.
So snakes. Yeah. So snakes.
No, dude. Did you not remember what happened with that thing? The D-backs can hit the sinker from righties. He can't hit it from lefties.
No, I think you're mixing it up.
You don't. Jesus Christ, man. No, you're incorrect.
Snakes.
Does your hat say "I believe in Corbin"?
Yeah, like it's a fucking illness. It's an illness.
How did I just miss that?
I put it on while I was posting my pick of Nat's money line.
Touche.
Is that like a custom-made hat that you made yourself?
Yeah.
He has all kinds. That's why the only reason I respect it is because I know he has multiples. He's got a major hat game. I'll give him that.
And I believe in gamers like Patrick Corbin. Some guys just know how to win. All right.
He does have a ring. Can't take that away.
Toast.
Yeah.
Mariners are in Arlington.
They are.
Logan Gilbert's on the mound.
He is.
Hashtag sharp spot to play Seattle.
Hashtag you damn right.
Let's do it. I knew you'd be with me.
I bet them last night, sent it out on the website at -106. It's -115 now. Regardless, either way. I was actually surprised that you're on this. I thought you were a Dane Stunning type of guy.
Gilbert's my guy.
Yeah, so I love Logan Gilbert. I love Logan Gilbert on the road even more. The last few years, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I mean, it's something crazy like 20-4 or something like that on the road. I'm not exaggerating like that. He's been absolutely incredible on the road. His last couple starts against Cincinnati and on the road against Toronto, 14 innings, 2 runs, 14 strikeouts, 2 walks. He had one bad start on the road against Milwaukee where he was giving up a whole bunch of home run balls. I think that he pitches well here against Texas. He's faced Texas a lot over the last couple of years. They play in the same division, and it's pretty much the same thing every time. 6 innings, 2 or 3 runs. That's pretty much what you're going to get out of him. Dane Stunning, on the other hand, I don't even think he's that bad. He's pretty average, but he doesn't have the best history against Seattle. Not to mention the fact I don't trust that Rangers bullpen. On top of all of that, the Rangers are coming home from like a 10-plus game East Coast road trip where they went to Houston, they went to Detroit, then they went over to Atlanta. Now they're back home. They did have a day off from playing Sunday Night Baseball, but don't tell anybody, but the Seattle Mariners are kind of hot right now. 7-3 their last 10. Their bats are starting to come around. Yeah, I'm on Seattle right now, and I kind of like it a lot.
I'm on Seattle right now, and I kind of like it a lot, he says.
Which is like a kiss of death with this Mariners team.
Damn, this guy is... Brewers' first 5 pushed yesterday, didn't it?
I don't know. No, it didn't.
Yeah, it was 1-1. Really?
It?
I thought it was 1-1.
I don't know. I thought I lost it, but I don't know. I mean, I'll look right now.
Good doesn't have a freaking clue. He's just typing hate into the thing for no reason. Some people really need to get help, man.
Correct. It was 1-1. Pirates scored 3.
So the bet didn't even lose.
Correct.
Some people just like, if you lose one bet, they just that's the only one that they bet, and they
He's
just
up
assume
like
that you're
16 units on the season.
Was he talking to me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
I'm sure the real winner.
Modi.
Yeah, second dong play here, Adolis Garcia. Type of guy that I want to bet when he's in the middle of a hot streak, which is what he's currently in. He's hit 2 home runs in his last 4 games, and that was after going 12 straight without hitting a home run. And then to begin the season, I think he hit 3 home runs in 5 games, I believe is what it was. So the hope here is that he can go on another binge to start the season. Over the last 14 days, even when you consider the fact that, like I said, he went 12 straight games without hitting a home run, he's got an ISO rate of 26.7%. Granted, a lot of that's probably from the 2 home runs in the last 4 games. Barrel rate of 12.8%. Not quite in the excellent threshold, which would be 15% and above, but it's still good. But even through the streak where he wasn't hitting home runs, he was still crushing the baseball in terms of hard hits. And over his last 14 days, he's got a hard hit percentage of 59%. That's crazy. Basically, 60% of the time, he's getting a hard hit. That's good for 8th most hard hit, or 8th best hard hit percentage over in the MLB over the last 2 weeks. Logan Gilbert is a good pitcher, so that is the concern here. But 70% of his pitches are either 4-seam fastballs or sliders, and those are 2 pitches that Garcia has the best power numbers against. So maybe he can, hopefully he gets a hold of one. But yeah, second home run play here, Adolis Garcia.
I forgot one. I forgot my Dinger Tuesday bet is in this game as well. Big dumper Cal Raleigh to hit a home run, plus 320 as well. He's also had a really good hard hit percentage the last 14 days, 61.5%. Only one other person in Major League Baseball has a better hard hit percentage than Big Dumper over the last 14 days.
That's at plus 320, Toast?
That means he's going, yeah.
Yeah, that dude's hitting the fucking home run tonight. That is sensational. I love to hear that.
Seattle.
Yeah, sign me up for Team Seattle.
Let's do it. All right.
Toast, I do have to ask, though, does it concern you that they're coming off a doubleheader and Coors?
I thought about that too. No, they had a day off. I'm gonna ride Gilbert in the bullpen. It is what it is.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be like the .75, which have been my heavier bets lately. But I'm gonna play it for a half unit still because I do like it. Pretty much everything the Toast was saying.
I like the fact that Houston or Texas coming home from that long road trip kind of counteract that for me.
How long was their road trip? Do you remember? Was it
games.
like 3 series, 12 plus games? Okay. All right, then that counteracts it for me. So yeah, then I'm good with that because Dane Dunning, while I love Dunning, he he's really just a mediocre pitcher that I liked because I used to back him when everybody hated him because he sucked, and I would make money off of him, and everybody would hate him. But now it's more like he's actually kind of good, so it's like now it's more. It was a meme, and now he's just an okay pitcher. So Dane Stunning, I love you, but you're an okay pitcher. The Mariners are hot right now. This is a lineup that, by the way, this is going to be shocking. Last 2 weeks, this lineup is up to second in WRC plus and first in OBP against righties. This is a lineup that before those 2 weeks was 30th and 28th in the same two categories. So they are red hot against righties right now. The Rangers against righties the last 2 weeks. It's that night. We got the nocturnal factor going. They're 12th in WRC plus, 18th in ISO, and 16th in OBP the last 2 weeks, the Rangers. So they've really been impressing. On top of that, we have the massive bullpen edge. So
that's what I was waiting for somebody to say.
Everything's working for the Mariners here besides the Coors thing. So, yeah, we're definitely riding with the Mariners here. One thing I noticed, though, is that Logan Gilbert, he hasn't recorded a lot of wins against the Rangers. So I feel like a lot of those wind up going to late battles between the pens, and that's where we're going to win this game.
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to say it. We talked about Gilbert versus Dunning. Yeah, I like the matchup for Gilbert for sure. Bullpen. Mariners bullpen is definitely underperformed a little bit, but the Rangers bullpen, they got situations. So, yeah, let's go. It's Seattle, all of us.
In 2 of the last 3 games that Logan pitched against Texas, Mariners scored 1 and 0 runs. So as long as the Mariners just put up a few runs, we're going to be all right.
We're going to be all right. All right. Padres, Rockies.
See what I mean? How lucky that shit was for us to cash that -1.5?
It was 3-1, right?
Yeah. And if you would, and it was
I don't give a shit.
Going into one to one going into the 8th. Tyler Wade pinch hit knock. Are you kidding me? Buy a lottery ticket, Padre bettors yesterday.
Just how we drew it up.
I was on the Padres too, so
yeah, we all were. So here we are.
Damn it.
Padres.
I'm not doing it today. It's 100% pass.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
No. Pass.
Nope.
Pass 100%.
Nope.
Absolutely. No way.
Two times in a row I've gotten lucky with this Padres team. No chance in hell I'm doing it today. Nope.
I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. Fuck.
Moda, you have anything
spot on, too. They had 1 run going into the 8th in freaking Coors Field.
Yeah, Gomber. He owns them.
Oh,
yeah, I have yes run first inning here, -105 odds. Sorry.
Good luck.
I know that the home runs or the runs weren't aplenty yesterday in Coors, but it's the highest positive run correlation of the day. Just when you look at the weather in Coors Field, according to Ballpark Pal. Normally, like if you get a yes run first inning at Coors, normally it's like -130. So it's one of the rare times where I actually think you're getting some value betting one of these first inning plays. Unsurprisingly, the Rockies are the most common yes run first inning team in the entire MLB. They're 16-7 to the yes run first inning, while the Padres are 14-11 with the that's the 9th best to the yes run first inning in the MLB. If you really wanted to be spicy, you could just bet the Padres team total over 0.5 because you're going to get better odds if you think it's just going to be from the Padres. But I'd rather play it safe and get even at the -105. I think it's good. Ryan Feltner on the mound. Padres offense outside of yesterday that's been hitting relatively well over the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, that's where I went.
All right. I mean, I'll just put Padres -1.5 up for me, but judging by what Prop Beaver and Toast said, I won't do it. But we did get that last. I actually didn't put. I don't know why I left that off of my ticket because I liked it on the show. But you know what? I like Padres -1.5, and I like the Padres team total over, which obviously didn't hit. So maybe I just decided to pass. I don't even remember.
Yeah, the Rockies have scored like no runs the past 10 games. Like it's just crazy how bad that team is.
Yeah. All right, Moda, I got you up first for this one. Baltimore on the road in LA against Griffin Canning. Did Griffin Canning finally get himself back on track with a decent start last time? Because he was off to a terrible start, Prop Beaver, right?
I don't know if I could chalk that up to him getting on track or to the Rays just being horrible because I think the Rays suck. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not fully going to say, oh, Griffin Canning's back now.
So I mean,
you gave up 2 runs to the Rays. You're not back. That's
so is this a
that offense is trash?
Is this a Baltimore -1.5 spot?
This
nope,
is
check the
a
bullpen.
this is a Baltimore first 5 run line spot.
Thank you, Beaver.
Yep, and I'm not even the Baltimore first 5
Holy
guy. I'm the Baltimore
shit.
full game guy.
Yeah, he said, "Holy cow!"
We got to bring this up.
Sorry to interrupt you, Beaver.
No, I mean,
Don't
You
apologize.
could cook. Don't apologize to this pig.
All right, so I'll bring up what.
Yo, it's Baltimore. I have to check the price now. It's probably way up. I got it at minus 110.
Here's the Baltimore bullpen here.
You still get
yeah.
minus 110 on Hard Rock, I believe.
Yeah, it's 125, 130 on a whole bunch. If you got Hard Rock, bet there. But yeah, Baltimore first 5 run line for me. It's really simple for me. I'm going to continue to bet Grayson Rodriguez every time he steps on the mound. He's already aced this or pitched like an ace against this Angels team once this year. It was at home, and last year he went on the road and faced this Angels team and did pretty damn well. Some of the Angels have good numbers against him in his career because they got to him when he was really bad. But I think this is a really good spot for Grayson Rodriguez to step in and pitch really well. Griffin Canning coming off of a decent spot, but the 3 times the Orioles have seen him, they've went 12 total innings and given up 14 runs on over 23 hits. So it's just been really, really bad. So I expect the Baltimore offense to keep rolling as well. Kyle just showed you guys the Baltimore bullpen. That's why I'm not laying 1.5.
Yeah. Damn. I guess Baltimore first 5 run line. Such a small sample size. But the Baltimore bats should get to Canning, so it should be safe.
Well, let me give you a bigger sample size. Griffin Canning through 5 starts against the Baltimore Orioles is 0-4 with a 10.53 ERA. This dude gets killed by the Baltimore Orioles. And guess what? His 2 home starts against the Orioles, he combined to go 4.2 innings, allowing 11 runs. He didn't make it to the third. At his own crib.
Yeah, I mean, this makes a lot of sense, and Baltimore's missing their entire bullpen, so...
And my main complaint was that the Orioles weren't hitting righty starters. Well, they got 3 off of Rhea, 4 off of Varland, 9 off of Paddock, 4 off of Lugo in their last 6 games. They were held to 1 by Lopez and 0 by Marsh, but Marsh has been so good against lefties, and Lopez is a different breed. Canning, who's been really struggling against lefties thus far, I think is going to really struggle here. So,
what do you guys think about waiting until the Orioles score a couple on Canning? Maybe like when it's like 5-1 Baltimore, take like an Angels plus 3.5 live.
That I would make a whole bunch of sense,
right?
Yeah,
If you're getting 3.5 late at a decent price, yeah. When you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the top 5 arms in the Baltimore bullpen, all have worked 2 of the last 3 days. Yeah,
I would take. So an Angels live run line, not money line, just a score.
Yes, 100%.
Probably. Why are you?
What are the odds? What are the odds you're going to remember that? There's just not how I.
What do you mean? The odds are pretty good. This is what I'm going to be sitting here.
What the hell are the odds you're going to remember that later?
100%.
There'll be like 15 people in the Discord.
Yeah,
saying,
dude, everyone will be like, "We're doing it, dude." Whenever I say something like that, everyone reminds me.
Maybe we'll talk about real bets. Bets that could be placed before the game, not hypothetical. Well, if they're behind 7, we can get the plus 6.5. Shut the hell up.
I guarantee you we actually hang out and bet in the Discord. We don't hide in the little corner. We're actually going to be in there doing it.
Dude, I like to be by my lonely. I'm sorry I don't participate in the Discord much. I like to be by my lonely. I cap my games. I'm by my lonesome.
All right.
Sounds like a great life.
Yeah.
It is a great life. I used to have that life until I had a freaking kid. It was amazing.
Modi?
Yeah, a lot of people in the comments were on this. I have Gunnar Henderson home run. He's cooled off after he hit a home run in 3 straight games. And he's now going 4 without hitting one, but not as good as the Cubs, but a decent game with 9-mile-per-hour winds blowing out of the park. That should help with carry. And it's Gunnar Henderson versus a right-handed pitcher, and not a right-handed pitcher that I trust a ton. All 6 of Gunnar Henderson's home runs this year have come against right-handed pitching. On the year, his ISO rate is 38.6%. That's an awesome number against righties. And if you look at the last 2 weeks, his advanced metrics are awesome. Barrel rate of 15.8%, hard hit percentage of 65.8%. That's the second best in the MLB over the last 2 weeks, 65.8%. And his average exit velocity is 97.4 miles per hour. That's an absurd number. That's the second best in the MLB over the past 2 weeks as well. So I mean, it's plus 300. So obviously the books are pricing it accordingly. But I love Gunnar Henderson. He cashed 2 in a row for me last week. So hopefully we can get back to him today.
The Discord link is right here, by the way. It's on the website for people asking. I'm just gonna put up what you guys said because I can't argue against anything Prop Beaver and Toast said. Grayson Rodriguez is obviously the man, pitching against the Angels lineup that I don't particularly trust. Griffin Canning's been really bad this year. Baltimore rocked them. This is an Orioles lineup that has proven to us so many times we can trust on the road as well. I think they were a top 10 lineup on the road last year. I'm pretty sure they were a top 10 lineup on the road the year before that as well. So, yeah, I don't have any reason to believe Baltimore is losing this game after 5 innings. But then later, we're going to go Angels Hive, and we're actually going to do it. I don't know. Probably was like, what are these mysterious bets? Like, no, we're actually going to do it. So you don't have to participate if you don't want. Next up. Can we talk New York Mets baseball?
I'd like to. They fucked me 2 days in a row.
I told you. I tried to tell you it was a Giants spot. Giants was my top bet last night. Tried to tell you. I know Mets team.
I didn't think that the Mets were going to win. I thought they would score some runs.
Oh, that's right.
Nobody likes a "I told you so" head ass. Let me just say that. Nobody likes that person. Nobody.
It's true. That's true.
Logan Webb short price against Severino, but the Giants.
Do it.
I want to bet the Mets.
Oh, I already bet the Mets.
Okay, so I'll go first then. I didn't even look at the game or anything, so this is just my thoughts off the top of my head. My reason for betting the Giants yesterday: the Mets had to travel. Number one, they had a lefty on the mound. The Giants cannot hit righties. They're actually not terrible against lefties. And I thought it was a perfect spot for the Giants. So now we got the Mets against a righty. Logan Webb, I like Logan Webb, but the Mets, we know this Mets lineup is alive and well. So now I think the value's back on the Mets. I faded my Mets yesterday, going back to them here at plus money against Logan Webb. Prop Beaver?
I didn't even look at this game, to be completely honest with you. I didn't get to this one. I feel like it's so hard to fade Logan Webb at home because really the main edge with the Mets is that they're so good at hitting in the later innings, and that we have a great bullpen. But Webb goes like 7 innings every time, and then you're going to have the 2 high at leverage like bullpen guys for the Giants. So
No,
I don't know. No, they went yesterday. I got to be completely honest. I didn't look at that.
Oh my God.
Giants bullpen's taxed. Duvall,
Let's get Toast up. Toast likes the Mets. Toast is no
Duvall
seed.
and Rogers aren't going to be able to go, regardless of how many they've gone. They're not going to have Walker, who doesn't usually
So
go
the
back.
Mets.
It's Mets.
I don't give a fuck.
Mets.
So for me, the Mets, I mean, they really haven't screwed me that much. I've been making a lot of money off the Mets the last 10 days. I've been playing their team totals over. I ended up playing their money line here today. For one, yes, Logan Webb is very, very good and very, very good at home. I'm not trying to make an argument against that. But I am going to try to make an argument the fact that the San Francisco bullpen is taxed. Duvall 2 of the last 3 days, Tyler Rogers 2 of the last 3 days, Ryan Walker 2 of the last 3 days. And then you have a Mets bullpen on top of that that's good and rested and everybody that's going to want to go. I understand that
Hold on. An excellent Mets bullpen.
I was just about to say that Brooks Raley just went to the IL, so that takes one of those really good arms away from you, but you still have everybody else good to go, so I'm good with that. And then Severino, I think that's the key cog here. He looked really, really bad against Milwaukee in his first start with the Mets. Since then, he's been fantastic. I mean, I'm not saying that he's playing really good teams, Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh, but 5 innings, 1 hit on the road in Cincinnati, 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run against the Royals, 6 innings, 5 hits, 0 runs. One of them was unearned against the Pirates. So Sevy's been pitching really, really well right now. So if you're going to give me the Mets with the rested bullpen at plus money, I'll take it. I don't trust this Giants team in any way, shape, or form. I understand that they've started to put a couple games together, but they've also played the Rays, Miami, and Arizona isn't really playing that well right now either. So I'll take my chances with the Mets at plus money.
Yeah, Mets up. Modai likes the Mets.
Kind of. I have Logan Webb under 5.5 strikeouts, so kind of back in the Mets. Another juiced up strikeout prop where I'd rather get the 5.5 as opposed to 4.5 for plus money. Similar to Steven Matz, who's the another under that I took. This is a number that Logan Webb has yet to clear at any point in a game this season. He did end 3 games with exactly 5 strikeouts. So he did get close, but it's a team that doesn't strike out a lot in the Mets. 9th lowest strikeout rate, specifically against right-handed pitching in the last 14 days. And I like Webb. His strikeout numbers aren't that great. It's a pretty low strikeout rate of 17.9%. That's the 14th lowest in the MLB. So I don't think that a low strikeout pitcher is going to get 6 strikeouts for the first time this season against a team that doesn't strike out a lot. So give me the under for Logan Webb.
All right, Logan Webb's under. Someone, Proppy, for someone, you didn't get to look at the game, so you can't answer. Someone was asking, or actually, I don't even think they were asking. They were saying they liked Logan Webb over outs. With the limited Giants bullpen, maybe they force him.
I mean, honestly, Logan Webb over outs is borderline never a bad play. This dude is just
he goes 7 innings no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his line is at, but if it's under,
it was 18 and a half. 18 and a half.
I mean,
that's what the guy put in.
Done that. Only one person's done that. It's Tyler Glass now, but Logan Webb's a different beast. I don't know what to tell you. No. No.
All right, so let's talk community parlay. Proppy, where you want to cook up an underdog for us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Community parlay, by the way, scorching hot community parlay. And some people said, yes, we're going to have the NBA teams in the beginning. Oh, wait, we can't. Yes, we can. So we got Suns money line. And then the first MLB was Red Sox Cleveland. That game was so long ago, I forget who they even voted for. They liked Red Sox, actually. I know they did. Because Toast liked Cleveland, and I remember looking at the poll and thinking community disagrees with Toast.
Usually a good sign for me. Just saying.
Just saying. Someone in the chat asked like what the Discord is like, and someone said make sure you PM Helms and request a special package. Yeah, make sure you request a special package from Helms in the Discord. He sends out some oh shit. Suns money line is really in the community parlay. Bunch of risk takers.
I love the Suns.
I mean, I'm on the Suns too. I'm down. All right. We got Brewers, Pirates. They like the Brewers because it was against the Pirates rookie pitcher. They like the Phillies. They like the Dodgers. No one believes in Corbin. And they like the Rays. Where is Helms? Is Helms in the chat? I thought I saw him before. Nah,
I saw him here earlier.
Yeah, Helms was around before. YouCapper says parlay lost already. Yeah, we know, Ronald. You and Ski both like Minnesota. But we've established that you're overreacting from one game sample size. Someone says Suns in 5. Suns in 6. Sounds good to me. Phillies. Second leg is the Phillies.
Let's go Phils.
Yeah, they came through for me yesterday. I had Phillies and Giants are my top bets. Both came through. All right, Tigers, Rays, A's, Yankees. They believe in the Yanks to bounce back. Marlins, Braves. They like the Braves. White Sox, Twins. They definitely don't like the White Sox. That's for sure. And Blue Jays, Royals. They like the Royals. Royals won that poll. Cast your votes. Oh, Moda, you want to tell them where they can find your stuff while they're voting?
Yeah, basically, if you find me on Twitter at my handle you see on the screen here, Jedi Modai, you'll find a link to basically all the stuff that I do. It's mostly YouTube, so YouTube channel. I took taking a little bit of a break on the Dawn Report because of how dead the baseball is. So it's mostly just focusing on NBA playoffs for the time being, and then hopefully things change and we'll get back to it.
Someone just said, "YouCapper, you're not on the show, so the community part already won." No, we snapped that streak. YouCapper's been out for a couple cashes.
I was there for the first one. I remember that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the streaks ended. YouCapper and the community parlay was like a Cubs World Series victory. We got it. We got it.
108 years. Whatever it was.
108 years. All right, Braves money line. And then we got, let's see, Astros, Cubs. They like the Cubs with me and Toast. Diamondbacks, Cardinals. They like the Diamondbacks. Rangers, Mariners. Did they agree with us? I think they like the Rangers. I think they like the Rangers in that one. And we'll go Orioles money line. You know what? I'm going to take that one out because it was split. No one's going to vote for it anyway. There we go. What's the last leg of the community parlay? Cast your votes. Cast your votes. And it looks like it's going to be Baltimore. They're not scared of the taxed bullpen.
I can see that.
Someone said, Toast, Mitch Morber said he got Young Ho Lee under strikeouts. He got that plus money last night.
Yeah, something that you can probably play every single day, guys, and you're going to make money at the end of the year over 162.
Can I get odds on that, please?
Plus 800 at FanDuel.
An even 8. So
even 800. Suns, Phillies, Braves, Orioles.
Suns money line, Phillies money line, Braves money line, Orioles money line plus 800 for the community parlay. Let's bring Prop Beaver up here and talk some underdog. You email it to me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Prop Beaver's underdog that's not it. That's yesterday's. That's it. Okay, so go ahead, Prop Beaver. Tell him.
Yep. So I took the lower on Andrew Abbott. Really don't think he's going to have a good start here today. Think he's due for some regression. I took the over on Maeda because everybody's sleeping. He's a nighttime warrior. Time for him to have a good start. And then I took Pablo Lopez over higher fantasy points because he's facing the White Sox. That's all that needs to be said.
He has a pulse, and he's pitching against the White Sox.
That's the system.
If you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account, it's available in any state highlighted in this map. So if you're in one of the states highlighted in yellow, head over to Underdog Fantasy, the website, or download the app. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET. That'll get you a $100 deposit bonus match. So if you deposit $100, they'll give you a free $100 to play with. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Tomorrow, we're going to go live for a little bit in the morning to cover the day games. It'll be me, Toast, Beaver, and Kamish. But there's only 3 or 4 of them. So we'll go live for like a half hour to cover the day games, and then we'll be back at the normal time to do NHL, NBA. This same show will be same time tomorrow, but if you want to hear us talk about the MLB day games, we'll be live. I think we're going to do 11:30 a.m. So we're going to have like a little shorter pre-show for the MLB day games if you guys want to join us. Thanks again for the support. I'm going to be posting my MLB bets on the website right now on KyleKirms.com. See you guys in the Discord later. Yeah, let's bet responsibly tonight, and let's go Suns.